Hey, bitch. Excuse you? Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry Annie. It's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I'm your host, Chris Avalon, and for the next maybe 2 hours, I don't know, because, depending on how long I'll be getting into these topics and people be in the conversations and all the stuff that goes back and forth, this is basically a show. I don't know how long we're going to be, but I'm just saying. It's basically a show where we get into the latest celebrity news, gossip, hot topics, anything that got to do with entertainment or falls within that, even if it's politics. We talk about it on this here show. So, do yourselves a solid, or me, if you can, and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. So we got a couple of topics that we're going to get into. We're going to talk about 911. We're going to talk about The Matrix. There's a sequel in the works. We're going to talk about Lizzo coming back on the internet, talking about she's, clarifying that she's not quitting, even though she said she's going to quit over the weekend, but she's not. We're going to talk about some rebrands going on between Jennifer Lopez and JoJo Siwa. Diddy's son, Christian Combs, is now being dragged into this whole sexual assault case that's been floating around for the past month, it seems. Ariana Grande, there's some tea coming out about her and this whole thing with Nickelodeon. Some people think the reason why she's not talking about what happened in the docuseries that just aired on the ID channel and HBO Max is because she took some hush money. So we're going to get into that. Plus, Kroy Biermann is spilling tea about his soon-to-be ex-wife, or basically his strange wife's spending habits. Hunter Schafer doesn't want to be just a trans actress. Raven-Symone is clearing up comments about the time when she was on Oprah, I believe, and said she doesn't want to be African American. Kanye West is being sued. No surprise there. And we got the latest on Jonathan Majors, and Jeremiah Brent from Queer Eye is speaking out about all the drama that's been circling around the cast and all that other stuff. So yeah, so we got a lot of topics to talk about and a whole lot more. So yes, before we get started, please do yourselves a solid, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button, so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I would just give everybody a minute to come in the building and catch the live stream to see that I am live. So without further ado, for those of you that's in the building already, hello, hello, hello. And let's get into our first topic, which is 911 has been renewed for, I'm going to give you a little appetizer before we get to the entree and, all that good stuff. So 911 is a show that I actually stepped away from for a while. I guess because it was on Fox and there was a lot of stuff going on and life was happening. So I was really invested in watching a lot of television and things of that nature. But once I heard that they moved themselves over to ABC, because I believe Fox canceled, maybe the show I think became too expensive. So Fox let it go. ABC picked it up, but they kept Lone Star though, Fox. So yeah, so ABC picked up the show. It seemed like when they picked up the show, a little bit more money went into the show because the first 3 episodes the premiere was a 3-parter. It just ended. So, they're going to continue on with their procedural or whatever. But the 3-parter was like this Poseidon adventure type of thing where Athena, played by Angela Bassett, and her husband, Peter Krause, who is from 6 Feet Under, they went on a cruise, a terrorist situation type of kind of happened, and then it was like the ship was blown up and then it started sinking and all this other stuff. So yeah, it was very Poseidon adventure. And I was on pins and needles the whole time. My stress level was between a 1 and a 10, it was at a 19. Was a lot going on, but nevertheless, it was a really good 3-parter. I like the cast and everything. Anything with Angela Bassett in it, I'm gonna watch. Excuse me. So, yeah. So I guess after the 3-episode premiere, ABC has already given it another season. So it's going to be great. It's coming back for an 8th season. So it says, according to Deadline, the season 7 premiere, excuse me, of 911 delivered a cumulative audience of 11.76 million total viewers within the first 7 days and marked the series' highest rated multi-platform telecast in nearly 2 years in adults 18 to 49. It paid homage to the disaster thriller, the Poseidon Adventure. This is because I've seen the damn movie Poseidon Adventure, the old one and in the remakes, but I always like the original. I think the original one had Shelley Winters, her big old self. See, I love classic films. I love movies. One of the things I don't think a lot of people know about me is I love watching old movies from like the 70s and 80s and stuff. So I was glad that they did that whole homage. But I remember they did a remake, and I was like, this remake is not good at all. But they said it stands as ABC's most watched current series across all platforms. Now, the show was created by Ryan Murphy, Brad Falchuk, and Tim Minear. 911 is produced by 20th Century Television, a part of Disney Television Studios in association with Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk. So, Ryan Murphy got a lot of damn shows. I think the rest of American Horror Story Delicate with Kim Kardashian and Emma Roberts, I think that starts tonight. Personally, I have not finished Delicate because I was like, okay, where y'all going with this foolishness? Like, I haven't been able to get into American Horror Story since Coven. And don't get me wrong, I have given that franchise so many damn chances. But it's like, I watch it and I'm just like, what the hell? Did y'all even have an idea of what y'all wanted to do in regards to this? Like, it's not even scary. It's just dumb. Y'all just be trying to stunt cast, especially with Kim being up in there basically playing her damn self. So, 911, as after 6 seasons, moved to ABC, and which was weird because it was one of Fox's highest rated shows. So they have it come on alongside Station 19 and Grey's Anatomy, which, by the way, Grey's Anatomy was just renewed for its 21st season. I'm like, God damn, that show gonna be, that's kind of like the Law and Order SVU of hospital dramas. That's what it feels like to me with that show. But I should also point out that Ryan Murphy has also greenlit 2 new shows. Well, not only did ABC pick up 911, but they've also picked up a new show that Ryan Murphy developed called Dr. Odyssey with Joshua Jackson. Pacey from what's that damn show? Dawson's Creek, who's also messing with Lupita Nyong'o. Yeah, he liked the chocolate. So it says that Dr. Odyssey is believed to be a medical procedural that takes place on a cruise ship. And I think that's actually a good idea because if you could do like Grey's Anatomy meets The Love Boat, I think that would be a cool situation that they could do, especially like on a cruise ship, because I think that's probably what that was. In a way, that was a backdoor pilot. But if they were going to do a backdoor pilot, they should have at least had Joshua Jackson be a guest star on the show as like one of the medical guys. But I guess what they want to do is just kind of see if people were interested in this whole cruise ship type situation, and they did come up with some really interesting characters in regards of the cruise ship people. You could always bring different people on with different experiences and stuff. So I actually like that idea, and I love 911. And I'm wondering, why did they give it up over on Fox? Fox, y'all run out of money over there? Like, y'all couldn't afford to keep that show going? So, with that being said, I'm glad it's where it is, especially with ABC having a bigger budget. I watch it on Hulu, but I'm about to get rid of Hulu because, Hulu's now part of Disney Plus. So I can watch it I've been watching it over, actually, I watched the first episode on Hulu, but then when I found out about the transition, I watched it over on Disney Plus. So that's where I'm watching it now. So congratulations, 911. Looking forward to seeing what y'all doing with the new season. And what I'm hoping is that the 2 paramedics or the 2 firefighters that they have that kind of have like that homoerotic relationship, can y'all make them an actual couple? I mean, I know we got a gay couple over on Lone Star, but we need one over on besides the women, besides Aisha Hines with her wife. Um, we need some we need some male homosexuality over on that show. We got the eye candy, but I need some stuff. And Jennifer Love Hewitt's on that show too. Speaking of which, I'm wondering what's going on with Jennifer Love Hewitt in this reboot to I Know What You Did Last Summer. That's what I've been hearing. They've been working on it, and we definitely need that back. Her and Freddie Prinze Jr. So I need more tea on that, and I need to look into that as well. But anyway, let me get to these comments. And I see Felix says, remember Heaven Can Wait with Warren Beatty, then Down to Earth came out with Chris Rock. Yeah, that's one of the things I don't like is when they go and they start remaking movies and then it's like, but if you want to remake a movie, I'm here for it if you got a good story and it's interesting or whatever. But if y'all start making movies, remakes or whatever, and it's just like, okay, where are y'all going with this? Are y'all just doing this because y'all don't want the IP to go to waste? Or you really gonna give us a good script? So yeah. Oh yeah, you said that already. You wrote it twice. I said The Simpsons. Oh yeah, The Simpsons is on its 35th year. We got Grey's Anatomy about to be in its 21st year. We have Law and Order SVU about to go in its 26th year because they were greenlit a new season. And I live for Mariska. Sometimes She comes to my job a couple of times. Like I've seen her at my job and stuff. She was there, and oh my god, I forgot her real life name, but the actress that played Rollins on the show, I need her to come back and be permanent. Like I'm tired of her leave coming and going and coming and going. I love me some Rollins. I need her back on there. I know when she was on All My Children actually, but now she was playing a cop, Detective Rollins over on SVU. So I need her to come back. And Robert Price is in the building. All right, now speaking of renewals and sequels and things of that nature, apparently we're getting another damn Matrix movie. I found this out this morning and I'm like, did they not see the Matrix 4? Like that movie was god awful. Now, for me personally, I will say this. I love, 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 love. The 1999 original Matrix movie is like one of my favorite Matrix movies of all time. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen that movie. I cannot tell you how many times I could quote each line word for word. Like I literally know the entire script front, backwards, and center. Trinity is actually one of my all-time favorite female action stars. Well, her and Sigourney Weaver in the Alien movies. But I absolutely love me some Carrie Ann Moss. And I know she's out here doing things on other stuff. Like I think she's about to be in The Acolyte, which is this new Star Wars sequel or new Star Wars series, whatever it's coming on Disney Plus. I already heard the episode's gonna be 30 minutes. I'm like, what are y'all doing over there at Disney? We don't want 30-minute live action shows. Okay, can y'all give us an hour? Like I understand X-Men 97 is 30 minutes. Like animation, I can get it. I can get with it being 30 minutes. But a live action series, I need it to be an hour, and I need y'all to give me more than some goddamn 6 episodes, because that's another thing that irritates me about Netflix. Everything is 8 episodes. I'm like, why do we get 8? Is that the standard number over there? Can y'all give us an even 10? I mean, I know 8 is an even number, but still, I don't need 8 episodes. I need 10. Give me a solid 10. But anyway, so according to Variety, it says Drew Goddard, the Oscar nominated screenwriter of The Martian, who also directed The Cabin in the Woods, has been set to write and direct the new Matrix movie at Warner Brothers. The franchise's original co-scribe and co-director Lana Wachowski is executive producing. It says it will be the first installment without Lana or Lily Wachowski as directors. Instead, the Martian screenwriter, Drew Goddard, will handle filmmaking duties. He will also write the script and produce with his partner at Goddard Textiles, Sarah Esberg. Lana Wachowski will helm the most recent Matrix installment, 2021's Resurrections, is attached as an EP. It's not clear who from the Matrix universe, be it Keanu Reeves, Carrie Ann Moss, or Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, who, played the younger version of Morpheus, or Jonathan Groff, who played, I think he played Agent Smith or something or another in the newer one, in the last one. Neil Patrick Harris, Priyanka Chopra Jonas, who played Sati, the older version of her, the little girl, the anomaly who was in the Matrix Revolutions. I don't remember. Oh yeah, she was in Reloaded. She had a small part, but she was more or less in Revolutions. Now they said plot details haven't been revealed, but Warner Brothers Motion Pictures president and production Jesse Ehrman teases that the story will advance the fantasy world without straying too far from what made the series a success, saying that Drew came to Warner Brothers with the idea that we all believe would be an incredible way to continue the Matrix world by both honoring what Lana and Lily began over 25 years ago and offering a unique perspective based on his own love of the series and characters. The entire team at Warner Brothers Discovery is thrilled for Drew to be making the new Matrix film, adding his vision to the cinematic canon, and Wachowski spent a quarter of a century building here in the studio. And here's the thing, because when I first heard about this, I was like, why? Like, why are we getting another sequel? I thought Matrix Resurrections was god awful, was terrible. The action sequences, they even brought in the action sequences were bad, and they brought in Chad Stahelski, who was Neo's. Well, he played the Neo stunt double. He was Keanu Reeves' stunt double in the Matrix movies. He also directed all the John Wick movies with Keanu Reeves in it. So that's how they became friends and stuff. David Leitch also, he co-directed the first one, but he doesn't really get a credit. But David Leitch has gone on to do bigger, better things. He's got The Fall Guy coming out, which I'm excited about, and he directed Bullet Train, another movie I like. So all the movies that David Leitch has come out with, Atomic Blonde stuff, I absolutely like. Chad Stahelski was brought in to kind of beef up the choreography. It was still bad. The story made no sense. They were bringing in, like, I don't think Lana really had a good idea of where to take the franchise. And I love the original one. And I feel like the original was perfect. It had a real perfect beginning, middle, and it had all the philosophy up in there, the sci-fi stuff, the anime type things, like very Ghost in the Shell and all those other things, and had like that gothic type vibe. The soundtrack, I still listen to it today. I was obsessed with that goddamn soundtrack. I remember, I can't tell you how many, like I said before, I can't tell you how many times I've seen the original Matrix. The Reloaded and Revolutions, I felt like because the first one was so successful, Warner Brothers was like, okay, we just need to keep this IP going. We need a sequel, typical Hollywood shit. And so, can you come up with some stuff? I felt like Reloaded and Revolutions had great ideas, but as far as like a story goes, I just felt like y'all were just throwing stuff up in there and then just trying to distract us with all the cutting edge, special effects and the wire fu and all that stuff. And that's what we need more of in this new one. Like, we need some real cool ass fight sequences. Like, really get these actors, whoever you're gonna pick, to train for a good 3 to 6 months, wire work, some real, genre bending, death defying martial arts. I really feel like The Matrix does have things in it where you can expand the franchise and really keep the franchise going and stuff, especially with all the craziness that's going on in the world. And yeah, if you watched me yesterday, I was doing a lot of referencing of the Matrix, like the fake, the Matrix versus the real world. And I feel like in a lot of ways, the way technology and the internet has advanced, that we are in a way of sorts in the Matrix. So there was some foreshadowing, I feel like, with the original movie that came out in 99, because look, the internet wasn't what it was 25 years ago. It was 25 years ago. Yeah, 25 years ago. 99 versus 2024. So I'm here for it because the Wachowskis have stepped back and allowed someone else to come in if they have a cool idea, if there's a way that they can go and expand the franchise. I'm here to see what they can do. But if Drew Goddard comes up in it, and the only reason why I trust it is because I love The Martian. I absolutely love that movie. The script was perfect. Matt Damon definitely did his thing in that movie. But I feel like if this movie comes out and it's bad, then I'm like, okay, y'all just need to wrap it up. Don't give me no more Matrix. I even thought that maybe the Matrix would work as a TV series because you can really expand on some characters and stuff. But like I said, I'm really cool. I'm really interested in seeing where they're going to go with this franchise. If there's somebody who came along and was like, I absolutely love the original film, and I can find a way to make this like expand the franchise and take it further than the imagination of what the Wachowskis couldn't do with the franchise. Like, okay, you already hit y'all peak. You don't know where to go with these characters. I'm here for it. Now, am I here for us needing to bring in Keanu and the rest of them? As much as I love Keanu Reeves, I don't know if they want to bring Keanu Reeves and to reprise the role as Neo. Would he be able to do the fight sequences and stuff? Because he's about to be 60 this year. So can he really pull off and do those things? And what? Don't get me wrong, he ate in all the Matrix movies, but you could tell as the movies went further along, he was moving a bit slower than usual. So I don't know if y'all want to keep Keanu Reeves as part of the franchise. Maybe they could reboot it, call it Matrix Rebooted, and bring in a new Neo, a new Trinity, a new Morpheus. So go younger. You're gonna need people like if they can find if Keanu's is up for the task of doing what needs to be done with this franchise, then okay. But if he's not able to physically do all of the martial arts and stuff, I say have a double. Like digitally take his mug, put it on a younger person, and have them do the fight sequences. I mean, it's Hollywood. You could cheat. I don't think people should be mad and be like, oh well, I don't think he could do the fight stuff anymore. I mean, look. But then again, look, we look at Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen is 60 something years old, still out here doing the martial arts. But then again, Keanu Reeves is not someone who's been doing wushu and Wing Chun and all that other type of, that he didn't grow up learning martial arts since he was like 2, 3, or 4, whatever, like a little baby. He started doing all that training and stuff during the first Matrix. That's when he first started getting his martial arts stuff in. But if he can do it, then that's fine. But if not, I say recast, go younger. Or maybe bring Keanu as a producer or something or another. I don't know, or give him a role. I don't even know. They said they don't even know if Jada Pinkett's gonna be in it or whatever. Do we really need Niobe up in there? First of all, y'all made her old in the last one, and I really liked Niobe's character, but I felt like y'all could have did a whole lot more with her in them sequels. But they pushed her more in the games than they did in the films. So I would have liked to seen her do more fighting. That's what I was expecting. I was expecting to see Jada Pinkett fighting more in the films. So we didn't get that. But I do think at her age she can still pull it off. She ain't that old. She's still in physical, she's in great shape if she decides to come back or if they decide to bring her character back. But I feel like, does she still need to be an old lady like y'all had in Resurrections, or can we just pretend the Resurrections never happened? Because I always do that. I said that movie's so damn bad, I pretend like it don't exist. So as I said before, I'm here for it. I'm curious to see where they're gonna go, and good luck to y'all, Warner Brothers, because I know y'all trying to revive IPs. They've been on a roll lately with Warner Brothers releasing some good films. So if y'all got something to say, I say keep going. All right, so let's look at these comments. Did you see the new picture of Chris Maloney? He just turned and said, was that the one where he was naked again? Because he always naked. Not that I'm complaining, because, at 60-some years old, that man's ass still be sitting. So he got a big ass, too. So I remember the Animatrix. I actually have the Matrix DVD box set, which had everything in it. It had all 3 movies, all the discs where it showed the behind the scenes. This is what I miss about physical media, but Hollywood doesn't really put that much energy in physical media anymore. So I actually loved when, I would buy like a full box set. I got all the movies in it, including the Animatrix. I had all the extra DVDs with all the behind the scenes footage, how they did the special effects, how they did all the, the storyboards and all that stuff. And I remember when that movie first came out, when I was able to get my hands on the box set, I sat and I watched everything about it. And that's what I think really, ushered me into wanting to get into filmmaking, is because I always loved that aspect of making movies and being a part of that and being on a movie set and all that stuff. Child, I'll even try to go out and audition to be a part of this damn movie if I need to. I want to be in the Matrix. The new one, if they got a good idea, shit. But anyway, let's move on. And child, let's get into this Lizzo story. So yesterday, we had talked about Lizzo talking about she quitting the music industry and all this other stuff. Funnily enough, while the show was happening, I was getting so many messages from my friend DJ in the group chat. I'm like, who is messaging me? So I had literally had 9 messages waiting for me when the show was over. Funnily enough, I should have checked my damn phone to be like, if there was some breaking news, because one of the stories was, one of the stories that he sent me was this one. So I could have been like, breaking news, and I would have had to add this to the docket. I'm gonna be like, well, guess what? Apparently, Lizzo done said that she not quitting. Not gonna burn on parts of, but look, everything happens for a reason. Now we're gonna talk about it. So after she said that she was quitting because she was fed up, sick and tired of being targeted for her looks and character, now she took to social media to say, April Fools. She ain't say April Fools. I would say April Fools. But now she's talking about she's not leaving. So we do have her clip of her speaking on this. So let's go to that. And then we'll come back and I'll give my opinion.
I want to make this video because I just need to clarify. When I say I quit, I mean I quit giving any negative energy attention. What I'm not going to quit is the joy of my life, which is making music, which is connecting to people. Because I know I'm not alone. In no way, shape, or form am I the only person who is experiencing that negative voice that seems to be louder than the positive. If I can just give one person the inspiration or motivation to stand up for themselves and say they quit letting negative people win, negative comments win, then I've done even more than I could have hoped for.
Okay, I'm gonna have to pause her. First of all, she's full of shit. Number one, and I'm gonna tell you why. And you know what? Shout out to all the gays that are in the that I actually know who are in the comments. I see Loco Ninja, who is a gay rapper, but he also does makeup and stuff. Mila Jam, who's a trans performer. I see up in there all of y'all with the positives. Mario Diaz, who is a legendary club promoter. He started out in New York. Now he's out in LA. He does his big dick parties and all other stuff, and hot dog Sundays and stuff. Yeah, Uncle Mario's an icon, you know, a legend in the industry. I Am the Queen of Shade is up in there. Jackie Beat, We Are You Radio, who I'm supposed to be. Child, don't quote me on it, but I know I'm supposed to be doing something with We Are You Radio. But anyway, so they are all up in here with the positives, but Miss Mama's is full of it. First of all, I don't think a lot of y'all realize this, but I feel like she's trolling us. And I'm going to tell you why. Because apparently what she's doing right now, I don't know if y'all noticed, but this little bathing suit that she's wearing, that's her shapewear. That's from her shapewear line. So, and then there was another post. Hold on. Let me see if we can go back on her profile for a second. And I know I'm still sharing it, so let's go down. See, this is
welcome to my Diddy haul.
That's another one of her shapewears. That's the one we showed. Here it is, Giddy. I think it's what it's called. So now she's got a new shapewear, like a bathing suit shapewear line coming out. So this is what she's really out here doing. So you did all of that to bring attention to your shapewear, which is what you should have been like, hey guys, guess what? I'm coming out with a new shapewear line or whatever for us big girls who love living in our truth and who are proud of our bodies, who can feel confident and, you know, all that stuff. Like, where's her branding strategist? Like, where's the people on her team that could be helping her out in this stuff? So this is why I feel like, girl, I don't feel bad for you. You're full of shit. You're just out here trolling for attention. And then when people come at her with stuff, then she will be on me. Your whole handle is called, as Azealia Banks had to remind us when we talked about it yesterday, Lizzo be eating. So stop playing these games. Stop playing in our face with this stuff and just be you. Just be your authentic self. Just be yourself. Don't worry about what the people think. Just post your shit. Just put your music out there. Whenever you got new music, put it out there. If you got a shapewear line, if you got all these things that you promote, and just put it out there, and your fans, the ones you have left, will buy your stuff. And stop trying to feed into the negativity, because I feel like that's what she feels like. That's the only way that she gets attention. So, Lizzo, get off my line with this mess. I'm tired of her. I really am, Chad. But let me know what y'all think of this story down below, because it's like I be wanting to like her, but she just be doing the most, in my opinion. All right, so let's see what everybody is saying. We have to be honest, studios couldn't read the room. Blu-rays fail. A lot of people hate that it's theatrical sound and pictures make people dizzy because of the brightness. One of the things that I think that is horrible is, well, I love Blu-rays. I buy a lot of Blu-rays, but I also have original DVDs. But I have regular DVDs more than Blu-rays. Now at this point, I don't even buy a lot of physical media. And the reason why I don't buy a lot of physical media is because I was moving around so much within the last decade that I had stopped buying a lot of physical media. So what I do now is I just buy digital downloads. And so that way, if I want to watch certain things, I can either go to my YouTube, because I have a lot of movies that I buy that goes into my little YouTube file, or I have it on Amazon. Like, I buy things, digital downloads from Amazon, because I compare prices. So it depends on like how much something costs. If it costs way over there on YouTube than it is on Amazon, I will buy it on Amazon because it's cheaper. Because it's like, I'm not paying $25 for the same digital download that I can get for 20 or 18 on another thing. So I do that. I compare prices. But yeah, physical media kind of went out because a lot of people just, you know, I guess it's the way of the digital now. But I am worried that it's going to become this thing, because I remember at one point video games was having this fear that at certain points, like, what was it? It was PlayStation or something or another, that, okay, they're losing licenses to certain things, so you can no longer have it. And I'm like, wait a minute, if I paid money for this piece of material, you should not be able to remove it. I should be able to keep it. So why am I having to pay money? Like, why am I about to lose something that I paid a whole lot of money for? Like, that makes no sense. And I realize games is going in that direction too, where people aren't going into physical media, that they have to be digital downloads. My father's more of a gamer than I am. But for the most part, when it comes to physical media and stuff, it's like, yeah, I can't be out here buying stuff like that anymore. And then on top of that, the stores aren't even selling it. Like, Best Buy stopped selling DVDs. I think Target doesn't sell them anymore. So it's hard. Oh yeah, I remember you sent that to me, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. I read comments, etc. With Spotify raising their prices to two different premiums, $115.99 for music and podcast, 21. Nope. And that's why I'm like, I don't need all of that because, and this is why I don't really fuck with Spotify. The only time I listen to Spotify is for the podcast. Anything else, I have a subscription to Apple Music and I'm sticking to that. And I did see your post about Charlie XCX and the new album, Brat, which is coming out and they released two new songs. She released two new songs. So I did add that to the docket, like to my library. Not docket. I added to the library. So I have that. Like I said about Lizzo, yeah, exactly. And I think that's what it is that she's not authentic to me. So a lot of the shit she does just irritates my spirit. It's like, stop playing in our face. Just either quit or leave us the fuck alone. Like, stop with the trolling, because that's what I feel like she's doing. They're thinking of leaving to YouTube Music, which is if you pay for YouTube Premium, you get the music app as a bonus, or Apple Music. Spotify days would be a number because they're doing the full title. Well, if that comes to the point, then what needs to happen is that YouTube, and I feel like Apple Music needs to get in the podcast game and figure out how to lure more people over there. Because if Spotify is doing this whole title where you gotta have a specific with subscription only, and that's the only way you get access to things, then what they need to do is figure out how they going to, they need to figure out how to steal them people from over there. Sidebar, there was something else I heard too. Remember there was some other how they were trying to ban TikTok and all that other stuff because they're worried about these foreign entities coming in and stealing our data or selling it or sharing whatever. Well, I saw something today. This kid, and I really would, damn it, I wish I would have brought it up, but I did put it in my stories on Instagram, and I think it goes to Facebook too. So if you happen to check my stories, it's there. But there was this kid, I think his name is Conscious Lee or something, I think is his name, that I follow on social media. He was posting something that said that Meta was allowing Netflix. I was trying to remember what it was. It said Meta was sharing our data with Netflix so that way they would know how to recommend certain programs and shows and stuff to us. So y'all worried about the Chinese and our data and all that exchanging and people going in and these foreign entities coming in and stealing our information. But you got this fuckerberg over here giving our information to Netflix without us even knowing this. But people have been doing their homework online and have figured this shit out. So that's the irritation with me. So it's okay for the Americans to do it to us, but not somebody on the outside. We already know what it is. I keep telling you, it ain't nothing about our data being shared or stealing and all that other stuff. Y'all do not like the fact that American people are getting their information about Israel from a foreign entity, which is TikTok. Y'all don't like that the Palestinians and stuff are having a voice. The Jews think because they got all this damn money or whatever that they can prevent things from getting out. It ain't gonna work, sir. It's a Get the Movies Anywhere app. It's free and it adds the movie you purchased on YouTube and Amazon. It will go on all your streaming a movie app. Oh, well, I didn't even know. Well, I guess I got to get into that. It's a, the Movies Anywhere. I think I had that at one point, but yeah, I may have to add that. And then it adds all the movies that I purchased. Yeah, I definitely need to look into that. It's like I download a lot of my games. Yeah, I know my father does that too. Well, he had to start figuring that out because I remember for Christmas, my sister bought him. I wanted to get him video games. I already got those. Like she got him the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare game, and I was gonna get him that. That game was like I think $70 or something or another. But she got him like a bunch of games and stuff because I got him some stuff too. But I didn't get to get him the video games and stuff. But it was like, yeah, there was some weird thing on there where it was like, oh, you got to download the game or something or another. And it's like, well, why when I have the physical copy? So yeah, it gets all confusing when you got to figure out how to download all that stuff. But I do hope like when you download it that they're not gonna go and steal it back and say, oh well, we lost the licensing, so now you can't own the game. I'm like, huh? I don't think so. You better keep that shit up in there. All right, so let's move on and talk about Jennifer Lopez, who is or has quietly rebranded her upcoming tour. This Is Me Now, the great whatever the hell it was called. Um, she basically has gone back to the drawing board and has rebranded the tour. Now, the tour is actually going to be called J-Lo Live. This Is Me Live, the greatest hits. So, according to Variety, it said after canceling 7 dates of her first North American tour in 5 years amid weak ticket sales, Jennifer Lopez has renamed it to apparently broaden its scope, changing it from This Is Me Now to This Is Me Live, the greatest hits. Lopez initially announced the trek in February to coincide with the release of her latest album, This Is Me Now, and its accompanying 2 films, but she quietly canceled some of its dates last month in cities like Cleveland and Nashville, likely due to poor sales. The latest rebrand suggests a pivot from a tour focusing on the new album songs, which I said from the beginning would be a damn mistake because nobody cared about her relationship with Ben. Bitch, if you want to ride that white Boston penis all damn day until the cows come home because you can't live 5 minutes without a dick between your legs, then sis, you go ahead and do that. But we did not want to hear a full album about your relationship with this man that you was dating 20 some odd years ago. And I knew that this damn tour was going to be This Is Me Now song heavy. And her people was like, sis, nobody gives a fuck. So what we doing? Now I feel like what she need to do is she need to remix them songs and maybe switch them up and make them interesting, make them like a dance track or something. If she kind of remix them songs for this tour, then maybe they'd be like, okay, like how she did. Remember when she came out with the remix album back in the day when she worked with Ja Rule and re-recorded them? Maybe she should do that. But anyway, let's get back to the story. I just had to go on a little rant before I forget. There's a request for comment from Lopez's reps at Live Nation, which is producer of the tour, went unanswered. Live Nation's site hasn't been updated to reflect the tour's name change, but it does have conflicting titles on Lopez's listings, including This Is Me Live and This Is Me Now, the tour. While some venues hosting Lopez's performance haven't changed the original listings and their respective dates, there are a few instances confirming the rebrand for shows at Palm Springs Acrisure Arena and Inglewood's The Forum. A sponsored Facebook ad from Lopez also features a graphic with a new title. And that's true because as soon as I kid you not, as soon as I finished doing this article, I went on Facebook and I started just scrolling to see, okay, what's going on? The new ad popped up. Now it says upon release in February, This Has Been struggled to follow and find an audience selling 14,000 copies in its first week. While the album did debut atop the Billboard Top Album Sales chart due to 11,000 in physical sales, it arrived at number 38 on the Billboard 200, becoming the second of her non-studio albums to bow outside the top 10. And the funny part is, I remember when they posted this, it was like, oh, This Is Me Now debuts atop the Billboard Top Album Sales chart. And people were like, oh, yes, there was somebody flop. Oh, she did great. Or she ate. Yeah, the album's good. I'm like, really? Y'all not going to tell the whole story? Y'all not going to tell the real tea? Which is basically, yes, it debuted atop of the Billboard Album Sales chart because it sold 11,000 physical sales. Y'all got to realize that physical sales ain't what it used to be anymore. So yeah, they'll take a couple of thousand and be like, oh yeah, it debuted high. But if you looked at the rest of the story, and if y'all told the rest of the story, it came in at 38. I remember I made the mistake of saying it came in 28. It was like, no, it blew 10 spots below that. And all of her albums have debuted in the top 10, except I believe it was this album. And I'm wondering what was the last one? Was it AKA that didn't really debut at the top? Because I know a lot of people didn't like that album either, but I did like some of the songs on it. And you know that she self-financed the multimedia project that she came out with, like the This Is Me Now, the greatest love story never told, all the stuff. She put all her money into that. But I do agree that this is a smart move on her team to rebrand the tour after the failure that was This Is Me Now. And quiet as it's kept, like I stated earlier, nobody, many a times when I talk about her, but it's like people think I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But it's funny how like when these stories come out, y'all are basically saying what I've been saying for weeks. You're welcome. But anyway, so it says that in my opinion, I just don't think that people want to sit through a concert where the set list was going to be a lot of songs from the new album. Unless she was going to find a way to do like Madonna and make the songs, even though the songs that aren't that great work within the show, then I think people would tune in. But the fact of the matter was, Madonna wasn't giving you an album full of ballads. Like she's going to give you Miss Pop Donna. Pop Donna. I made up a name. So And, you know, she risked her career and her coins by giving us a dated pop R&B sound from the 2000s instead of a dance pop album that fits her strengths as a vocally challenged singer. It was good on her part to rebrand the tour by sticking to the songs that fans want to hear. One person said, "What's it gonna be? Waiting for Tonight and get right for two, or Jenny for the Block for 2 hours? Like she just gonna sing those songs and loop." She got a lot of other hits. I knew y'all were trying to be shady. Because it's like anytime I talk about Jennifer Lopez, I do notice in the comments the reads just be endless, and I do cackle because I'm like, "Ooh, y'all shady." But anyway, so but I do think that she should reconsider doing a Vegas residency, because out of the typical cities that she's scheduled to perform at in North America, I just don't think that she has that impact, that pulse on the culture in pop music, such as like a Taylor Swift, Beyonce, or a Madonna. I just don't think that J-Lo is someone who is that girl in that way. And I feel like it's her fault because she really did not invest in her music career the way Madonna, Beyonce, Lady Gaga, so many others have. Jennifer Lopez has focused so much of her energy on her movie career. And every now and again, she'll throw out an album and she'll do a live performance or a concert here and there, or she'd do like a residency where it'd be 3 days a week for like 2 years or whatever. But she would go off and do all these other things. So she really didn't invest 110% in her music career like all these other people have. Madonna's bread and butter has always been her music career. Beyonce's bread and butter has always been her music career. Taylor Swift's career has been, you know, music, and that's been her bread and butter. Now, I'm not saying they haven't done acting every now and again, but that wasn't their primary focus. It was always the music. They dabbled in acting, and Taylor has done a little acting here and there. She's appeared in things, but that wasn't her bread and butter. J-Lo's bread and butter has always been acting, and then she would come out with her little brands of things, like her clothing line, perfume. Like she would sell merch and things, but music has never been her thing. If she would have really focused on the music career and not waited in her later years to go and tour, then people would have been behind it. But I just don't think J-Lo was that girl where she has that fan base like the Rihanna Navy, like the Swifties, like the Barbs. I just don't think the J Lovers, or whatever she's calling them, is there to really support her in that way. So I don't see it. But I don't know. If you can tell me different, I'd be willing to listen. But let me know down in the comments what y'all think of this, because I do think the rebrand is smart. I don't know if they updated the thing, but I did tell y'all that the USB Arena in Long Island, and she got a show there in August. So those other shows that she had canceled, because her last show was supposed to be in Madison Square Garden, now she added they added an August date. I seen those advertisements floating around. So her team and her people, her team and Live Nation, they need to update what's going on, because I know at at the Garden, I think they're still running the old ad. Because I've seen it in between, the games and stuff. They do put up the ads of like, get your tickets now for the This Is Me Now tour and also, and they'll put the old ad up. So if y'all updating some shit, y'all need to let the people know. All right, so let's move on, and let's see what everybody is saying. Someone says she should wait until Ashanti is done with her maternity. Yeah, that was my friend Andre, I think, said she gonna give the block. Her stage is gonna be designed like the block. Did y'all see that post that I posted on Facebook, which I thought was a cackle? I don't know. There was a guy from New York that filmed this fake New York City set. I don't know if it was for like because they are developing a hip hop museum. He didn't write exactly what it was, what the location was, what it was at the design. Like it just said, he just showed this thing like, oh, this looks like a real New York, a real area in the Bronx. It said bodega on the top of like what a bodega, for those who don't know, is like a little store that we have in New York where we go and pick up little things before we go back to our spot or whatever. Like a little mini supermarket, but it's not, they don't really sell a lot of supermarket stuff. But just go in and you can order yourself where she was talking about her go-to sandwich. I'll tell you what a real New York sandwich is. What I would always get, I would either get for breakfast a bacon, egg, and cheese. I won't do no roll. I want to be full for a long period of time. So I would do a sausage, egg, and cheese on a hero. Sometimes I would add lettuce, tomatoes, and all other stuff up in there because I actually like that. And they can throw some mayo. Or sometimes I get a steak, egg, and cheese. If I wanted something to drink, I would either get me a coffee, black, or I would get me an orange juice to go. That's what the real, thing would get. And then the way they would write it on the paper, so they know the order. So if you put sausage, egg, and cheese, it will be SECR. So that's sausage, egg, and cheese on a roll. So they would abbreviate on the piece of paper and rip it and give it to the person to make the order. See, this is some real New York shit, I'm telling y'all, and on how we order up in here. So, Miss Mamas, if you was really from the block, you would really be up in here trying to tell people how we get our sandwiches at the bodega. Remember how she said in that old clip? I'm trying to tell you. See, you can tell the real people from the ones who was really the fake New Yorkers. And that's what I love. I'd be loving to go out and get my damn sandwich. At one point, it was just like when I was working so much, the Mexican dude that was always making my food, he knew exactly what I wanted up in there. They knew my order by heart. Because I wouldn't always order the same thing. Or now, because they kind of bougied out the bodegas. Now they do raps and stuff because, a lot of white people is starting to move in a lot of our areas because the rent be too high. But I think these landlords, these greedy ass landlords ain't realizing, or maybe they are, because these white people are trying to move in the areas, so now the areas is worth some shit. So now let's raise the rent. That's not the point. They move into our hoods because they don't want the rent to be too damn high. Some of them. Not all of them. Then they got those that's just greedy or just want to come in and gentrify our shit. But anyway, what I would do is because when I lived in Harlem at one point, and I'm trying to move back because I loved Harlem. It was so easily accessible to get around everywhere out there. But anyway, what I would do is I would get like a BLT and I will put what is not guacamole? What's the other thing they call avocado? So I would get a BLT in a wrap with with avocado. That shit used to hit. When I tell you, that would be my breakfast. So that shit would hit because I love that when they put it in the wrap because it's less messy. But anyway, let's continue. 11,000 in physical sales, $12 a CD is 132,000. Well, thank you for doing the math. It said J-Lo's album matched the Spice Girls album forever peaked at 38 24 years ago, but that sold 92K. And here's the thing, 24 years ago, the music landscape was way different than it is now. 38 24 years ago is not 92K in its first week. I'm trying to remember if that was considered bad back then. I mean, it'd be bad now. But it said the number one was convicted rapist R. Kelly, but I don't think it will be a cult fave. Paris Hilton blocked me when I said she wasn't a cultural icon of music, and I even said Lady Gaga is heading there. She left the industry because acting she escaped Madonna's shadow. Wait, he blocked you when you said about who wasn't a cultural icon? Who? Jennifer Lopez? Is he a child? If he a J-Lo stan, girl, get off my line with that foolishness. But I don't understand the whole blockation because I be commenting on his shit too, and he be liking the stuff I be saying. But she's not a cultural icon of music. People are not checking for J-Lo like that. Like, she got her hits, and people, they'll bop along when it comes to her music. But she has been plagued so much about this whole, stealing people vocals and being an Ursula, the sea witch of music. And the Ashanti jokes and the Christina Milian jokes, and then they bring up Natasha Ramos and all that stuff. Like, this is the stuff that's still been following her around. And even when I posted this article and I seen somebody shared it, a lot of people were saying like, oh, she can't sing, that she needs to stick to, she's a great dancer and performer, she needs to stick to that. And that's my thing too, is like, stick to your strengths. People can say what they want to say. Like, we're not expecting you to sing like Jennifer Hudson, which is why I still am cackling over the people getting mad at her saying she upstage Cher. She didn't upstage. First of all, you cannot upstage an icon. Cher is an icon. Cher has been making music for 60 damn decades. No, 6 decades. I said 60. She's been making music for 6 decades. Cher is a legend. Cher is an icon. We know that Cher can't sing like Jennifer Hudson. Jennifer Hudson is from the church. She gonna blow. Like, she gonna give you full chest, full out with the vocals. So, and Cher, I'm sure, approved of Jennifer Hudson being up there singing. I was about to say screaming because she kind of was. But Jennifer was doing what she was doing. People were getting all upset because of the way she was. And it's just like, okay, so like, stick to your strengths. We know Cher's not the greatest singer. Cher sings her songs the way Cher sings it, which makes her unique. And I always love a unique performer, a unique vocalist. And Jennifer Lopez should have just stuck to her strengths. She knows she ain't the best singer in the world. Madonna said that too. I'm not the best singer in the world, but the thing with me is that I have something to say. And Madonna, actually worked on her vocals. And her strongest singing period, I do believe, was like during the Evita era, when she did that and she came out with the Drowned World tour. She was singing her ass off with that. The Reinvention, I thought, was like when she sang on her vocal best. The new tour, no shade, but the backing track is louder than Madonna's vocals. But I'm not mad at that. I don't need her to be out here trying to do a full-on. I don't need her doing like what Pink is doing now, her tour flipping around the damn arena and shit. I don't need her doing that. Madonna has given us all that she needs to give us throughout the many decades that she's been making music, 4 decades. So I don't need her to be out here doing crazy shit to try to prove. You ain't got nothing to prove to anybody at this point. You've proven yourself. Same thing with Jennifer Lopez. Girl, we know you ain't the best singer. Just have that backing track louder than your actual singer voice. Have your mic down real low. And give us a 1-2 step and keep it moving. Give us the fashions, give us the hair, the diva fan blowing your hair and extensions in the dust. So I'm actually hoping that I pretty much work all the concerts, most of them, but I'm really hoping that I get scheduled to work the J-Lo concert at Madison Square Garden, because child, I will come with y'all with the tea. And I need to see her perform live. So that way I can give y'all same thing I gave the grace with Nicki Minaj. I'm gonna do the same thing with her. And I do like J-Lo. It's just that the delusions be delusioning. And when these people out here being all delusional, I gotta call y'all out on y'all shit. So Cleveland says if they were all vinyl, $11,000, $25 is under $300,000. So big fun. Here's the thing: is that she's also released multiple vinyls, I believe, of This Is Me Now, because I remember her promoting it all over social, her socials and stuff before the album came out. I do remember seeing it, I think, on Instagram. She came out with, like, this seems to be this ongoing trend of a lot of these major artists releasing multiple vinyls. She did it, Shakira did it, Taylor Swift did it, and then we had Billie Eilish throwing shade at people for doing it. And I love me some Billie Eilish, but girl, let them try to be greedy and let the fools, if the fools want to sit out here and buy multiple damn vinyls of the same goddamn record, that's their money. What you getting mad for? You a 2-time Oscar winner. You got something J-Lo and them will never get. Anyway, as quiet as I say as quiet as it's kept, Gaga is only doing the album due to legal contract, so I feel she'll leave music. At this point, it's like, if she's lost her love of music, then yeah, go. But like I stated before, because one of my friends, Jim Silvestri, who does Odyssey, was bringing up, he said something that I remember, I think you and I have had this conversation about. Do people care about Jazz Gaga? Do people want the jazz? Do they want Tony Bennett with titties out here singing these jazz songs? Because he asked, that's me saying that one, Tony Bennett with titties, that's me. But he said, do people care about this jazz, like Gaga doing jazz and all this other stuff because she's, I said no, because most people want pop Gaga. I said people was out here, like, I remember when she first made the announcement that she was going back to doing, when she said when she was going to do the Vegas residency and it was going to be jazz songs and all this other stuff, people was like, where is pop Gaga? Where's the pop music? Like, we want you out here, we want the choreography, we want the costumes, we want this. So it's like, she was on to something in the beginning, because I love the Fame and the Fame Monster. I feel like that was her best era. I did like Born This Way. The albums after that, I was like, yeah, okay. You was trying too hard with art pop. But I just feel like after she kept getting those Madonna comparisons, now it's like she's all up on her insecure bag. And then she was like, how do I separate myself? So I'm going to do the jazz stuff. But those fans that brought you into the mainstream, you pretty much abandoned them because now you want to go niche with the whole jazz thing. And I don't think that's what your fans want. So I think the only people that's going to show up to this event is, as my friend Daniel Nardicio said, because he said he actually went to go see her. He said that I think the only people that's going to go is like people who are fans of jazz music and like that side of her, who aren't familiar with like the Fame Monster, and that whole era of music, and drunk people who wanted to hear her sing Born This Way. It's like, is she gonna sing that song, or is she gonna do a jazz rendition of it? Personally speaking, I would love to see Lady Gaga on Broadway. I would love to see her like do Roxy from Chicago, or maybe even if Nicole Scherzinger decides to step down from playing Norma Desmond, she could do Sunset Boulevard. Like, I would love to see Lady Gaga do Broadway. I really think that she has the knack for being a Broadway girl. Something that Madonna wasn't able to do. See, that's another way you could step into a situation that separates you from the Madonna comparisons. Go to Broadway. Look, Nicole Scherzinger's pop career done went down the toilet, and look what she doing. Broadway. And when she come to America, when she come to America, particularly New York City, and she goes and does Norma Desmond and Sunset Boulevard on Broadway, guess who's gonna be there? This one right here. I'm gonna watch it. Just like I need to see Jinx Monsoon in Little Shop of Heart. There's a lot of good Broadway shows coming out this year. So I definitely need to get my ass to a theater and catch some of them. But anyway, let me get through these comments so that when we get to the rest of the show. It said, it looks like, that's why I said, it said, it looked like I finally found Jenny's block. The block, meaning copying Madonna's stage to create downtown Manhattan. Well, look, she could probably do that. Like, to me, if I was doing a tour and I was paying homage to my roots, especially in New York and coming up in the club scene and stuff, you best believe I would be replicating that for my stage. But yeah, Madonna's already done it. J-Lo isn't a cultural icon. She's a J lover. Cher will be making music after we're all dead. Well, she'll be alive probably even after I'm gone. I'll probably be 80 years old, and and then Cher will still be on this earth. Look at the say, and she looked good at the I Heart Awards. Same with Madonna. Someone shared Dolly Parton said she'll probably die before on the stage. Well, look, that's the only way I say go out. If you love what you do, keep doing it. Don't let people tell you to retire. Have fun. Oh yeah, yes, I will be working Olivia Rodrigo's show this weekend. I think it's Saturday that she's performing. So yeah, I'll be working the Olivia Rodrigo show. So if y'all watch this show and y'all gonna be there and y'all are Olivia Rodrigo fan, you can say hello. I won't bite you. Because I actually like how she's giving Gen Z a rock lesson, with the opening acts being 90s college rock icons like the Breeders and a few others. And I actually like the rock concerts. I told you the Fall Out Boy concert I had a lot of fun at that one. That wasn't bad. The Pantera one, metal concerts, I'm not really a fan of because those people don't know how to act. And Nicki Minaj, besides a couple little hiccups with that was actually a good show too. Well, yeah, she is a horrible dancer. And the thing with her is that she could do like Nicki Minaj did at her concert. You don't need to dance. You could do like a little shimmy here and there or just move around the stage. Let the dancers do, the heavy lifting. Or like with certain parts of the show, kind of like Alejandro or Born This Way. You could do a little bit of, or not even Bad Romance, when she does that little move, you could do your signature moves a part of it, but just stay with the singing. Or like Kylie Minogue. Kylie Minogue don't really move around that much and do choreography. She'll do a little 1-2 step here and there, but she's focusing more on making sure those vocals is on point and giving you personality and passion and performance and all that stuff. That's what I'll be like. I'm gonna let the dancers do all that because I'm not fucking up my hip, my knee, all of this other stuff, not to please y'all. I'm gonna give you costumes and I'm gonna give you extravaganza. So it's oh yeah. It did, because and I think that's a problem with a lot of American artists, that a lot of American artists, y'all get so caught up in that ego of worrying about, oh, them hurt my feelings. It's the imposter syndrome. That's what it is. That imposter syndrome gets y'all so damn much. It's like, who gives a fuck? Let people say what they want to say and just do you. People are older in their 50s and 60s was in the audience when I went. Nobody really young. Like, oh, you're talking about with Madonna? You want us to say that, funnily enough, I was surrounded by a lot of older people too. I was surrounded by like the people that was in front of me because I was literally I was in the 200s, but I had a good section. Like y'all already saw, like the videos and stuff that I posted online, y'all saw I was in a good section. Like, and one of my friends was like, "Oh, you on the good side because Madonna spends more time on the right than she does on the left." That's why I felt bad for Crystal Vanity because she was on the left side. But look, she seemed to have had a good time. But on the right side, I was more or less on the right side, so I got a good view of the stage and everything that was going on. So I got a lot of really good shots. But anyway, but yeah, a lot of people in front of me were older. We're sitting a lot because they couldn't sit. I stood up for most of the show. Oh, you talking about oh, he talking about oh, you're not talking about Madonna. But yes, she was a lot of old people in her audience too. But it was mixed. Oh, you talking about yeah. So you actually went to see her? Or you talking about you saw that online? Because it was like, okay, yeah. But yeah, a lot of older people gonna listen to jazz. My dad is a jazz fan. My grandfather who's 90 is a jazz fan, and that's how I was introduced to jazz because I grew up listening to it. My father always played jazz in my house. Between that and listen to the Temptations, the Four Tops, a lot of Motown, a lot of Diana Ross, a lot of Michael Jackson. Then my mother played more of the progressive type stuff. So my father played all the old school stuff. My mother was the one who introduced me to like freestyle dance music. Like she was playing Rick James. She was playing more of the fun stuff. My father would play a lot of the old school stuff. So that's where my big library of music came from, was me growing up, and that was the music I listened to. And then I told y'all when I was growing up, we used to listen to Hot 103.5, which actually was Hot 97, and then they switched over, made that hip hop, and 103.5 became KTU, which is they play a lot of the freestyle, dance music, all the stuff. And I used to listen to RuPaul in the morning with Michelle Visage, and and they had to turn that off because I would get distracted and I would not be ready to get ready for school. So what they did was put on Light FM, which played Linda Ronstadt, Paul McCartney, a lot of that stuff. So that's how I became abreast of. That's why I wasn't that bothered by what the music Beyonce put out recently, Cowboy Carter, because I grew up listening to that stuff. So it was to get y'all ready in the morning. Y'all gonna listen to the stuff y'all don't want to hear. And then I listened to it, but it's funny enough, that stuff seeped into my brain because music is music, and music was always my passion. So there's that. Okay, so now let's move on and let's get to the rest of the show. Now, speaking of rebranding, let's talk about JoJo Siwa, who is going through a midlife crisis as a child. Is that possible? Or maybe we should just say a career midlife crisis, because she's been making music and stuff, and she's been performing since she was like, what, 9 or 10 or something? So shout out to Out for coming up with this article, because now I'm going to just read what they said. So it says there comes a point in every child star's career where they have to figure out how to transition from teeny bopping sound to become a more adult artist who's taken seriously by the industry. JoJo Siwa is seemingly hoping that her current rebranding era with the upcoming Karma single is going to draw comparisons to Miley Cyrus's Bangerz era. So she's going to be out here rubbing her coochie and sticking out her tongue and wearing crazy outfits. So Siwa has been doing a lot of different things in the past few years. She's become a breakout cast member on Dance Moms. She's pursued different venues in acting, singing, touring, having her own reality show, and even judging existing reality shows. When it comes to her personal life, Siwa came out as gay and kept fans up to date through social media in regard to her first few girlfriends. Now, in 2024, it appears that she has circled back to resetting her music career. She's been releasing a few bops since 2016, one literally called Bop, but on the cusp of turning 21, she's eager to rebrand herself as a musician with the release of her new song called Karma. While attending a 2024 iHeartRadio Music Award on April 1st, she donned an outfit that looked like she was intended to represent her grown-up attitude in this next chapter in her career. She also spoke to Access Hollywood about her appreciation for Miley Cyrus's rebranding strategies with Bangerz, admitting she would love to do something similar. Well, for y'all to even know what she's talking about. Oh wait, hold on. I was like, let me pull that up open for y'all to look at this thing. Because first of all, it looked like the makeup that she had on, like, is she channeling Gene Simmons from Kiss? So she said, let's see if we can play the clip.
She is my number one idol. I was like, I want to do what she did with Bangerz. I want to have that moment. And I mean, look, I'm flattered that the world even can compare that. That's crazy to me. I was like, this is what I want.
Okay. So, that's good if she wants to rebrand and kind of take a page out of the handbook of Miley Cyrus, and that's great. But here's the thing that I have a problem with when a lot of these younger artists try to transition to being more of an adult and having people take them seriously. The one thing that irritates me about that is I feel like y'all can either go one or two ways. It's like you either really transition into the whole situation like an Ariana Grande, or you go more Christina Aguilera when she did Dirty. And it's like, sis, what the hell are you doing? Like, you out here licking up on people, and you out here rubbing on your vagina, and then you out here surrounded by a bunch of half-naked Mexican men inside of a boxing ring. It's like, okay, now you're doing too much. Because it's like, okay, we get it. You're a woman now, but you don't have to sell us porn in order to do it. And I feel like a lot of times, a lot of the younger kids go in that way where they're overly sexualized, but they're going that way. Not necessarily saying that JoJo is going to go in that direction, but if you're going to go in that direction, it needs to feel more authentic and natural, and it doesn't need to come off as like, oh, you trying to be like this rocker chick, or you're doing adult cosplay. And I think that was one of the criticisms that people had when it came to her in that conversation. I don't know if that's in this comments. Someone said JoJo Siwa looks like gold dust, and I'm fucking crying. They said they're not comparing it because you did it well. They're comparing it because you're giving the Sheen version. So they reading her in these comments. Let's see what else. I don't know why y'all saying only Miley can do Miley because she's Miley, and that's on Miley. WWD ass fit. Who even compared her to Miley? The way no one buys herself. No, the way no one by herself is comparing what she is doing to that dead. She definitely saw that tweet saying she's in her bag of error, please. Now people are so child, they reading her in the comments. Is she even a Sagittarius? Because no offense, but Miley and Billy wannabes could never. She looks like one of the grunts from the Pokemon games. Like, why does she have a goatee braid? It's giving Kiss the metal band, but like it's not cunty at all. Girl needs to fire her stylist. Child, they are going in on Miss Siwa. And that's what I said. I think the whole point is that it needs to feel authentic. Like if that's where you're gonna go. And I'm here for a rebrand. I'm here for, kids to transition from being that teeny bopper kid type, because you can't do that forever. Taylor Swift. You can't keep trying to pretend like you're 13 singing them songs and you pushing 40. So there comes a point in time when you gotta grow up. And you got to develop yourself and your talent and reinvent yourself. When you come out trying to do all this crazy makeup and wearing these weird outfits, it's like, girl, is that really you? Like, have you been wearing this? Like, if you were slowly transitioning, like just walking down the street, going to a Starbucks or whatever, and you happen to have that outfit on, like, I understand if you were subtly building up to that, but then all of a sudden she showed up at the iHeart Awards like, oh, look, new me, new image. And it's like, but girl, is that really you? And the thing is, with the internet, people can always tell if you being for real or if you bullshitting. So you really got to step it up and figure out who you are and what you're all about, and if that's really you. Hold on, let me see. Why is Dorit trending on the Beverly Hills Housewives? Was she fired? I did hear that Anne Marie did an interview with Carlos King. Yeah, Anne Marie just did an interview with the other black girl that was fired from after one season because she was boring. And I saw that she did a recent interview with Carlos King, and he asked her some question about, do you think that Garcelle wants to be the only black girl on the show? And she wound up saying something. I didn't watch the episode. I just saw the clips floating online, and people basically co-signing with Anne Marie talking about, oh, and she doesn't want to be challenged by another black girl because, yeah, she likes to use the race card every time on the show as her go-to when it comes to the ladies talking to her or having conversation about, certain things that are coming across as microaggressions, whatever the case is, and she doesn't want to be challenged by another black woman. I'm like, sis, you could have said and did all of this and brought all this in your first season. You didn't bring none of that. You spent your whole damn season worrying about Sutton's esophagus. That where was all the other stuff that you could have given us to make us interested in you for a season? So you wasn't giving us none of that. So we don't care. So Carlos wannabe ratings thirsty ass can give you as many platforms as you want. We don't care. But what he need to be doing is worrying about them shows nobody's watching over on the OWN network and stop always trying to infiltrate what's going on over on Bravo. But anyway, so let's get to the comments. I saw her once at Disney Springs, but I left her alone because she would have had a big crowd around her. I think she was there with one of her friends. Miley almost turned everyone away after the VMA performance. Her music got better the last couple. Yeah, and here's the thing. The Bangerz era was my least favorite era of her because people accuse her of being a colonizer of black music spaces. That is the conversation that people have been having about when it comes to Miley when she did that Bangerz album, because right after that she retreated and she started going back to doing the white music or going into rock and country and all those other things. And don't even get me started with her last album. I didn't even like it. The only song on that album that was good that got her the Grammy was Flowers. The rest of that album, you could have threw that whole shit in the trash. She should have just did a J-Lo and, just released singles over the years and not a full album, because I just didn't think that whole zhuzh was. I didn't get what needed to be given. Miley didn't give what needed to be given with that record. I just thought that record was just not good. But if y'all like it, I love it. But look, she got her Grammys from it. Well, the one song. So there's that. But yeah, JoJo, just be yourself. People will gravitate towards you for that. If you trying too hard, they're gonna see right through it. Okay, so let's talk about Diddy's son, Christian Combs. Now we've been talking a lot about Diddy lately, but apparently, and his sons, they were held last week when they did that whole raid or whatever the case was with Homeland Security. So now they're saying yesterday, which was April 2nd, a report surfaced that Christian King Combs, who's 26, will be named in a lawsuit that accuses him of S.A.ing and drugging a woman. Now, Vibe is reporting that Christian is reportedly being named in a lawsuit where it says that, according to attorney Tyrone Blackburn, the identity of Combs' alleged victim has yet to be revealed, and details surrounding the reported lawsuit are sparse. While Combs has yet to address the allegations directly, he recently shared a post on social media that read "Stop the blue cap emoji." And cap basically means lies. That's slang, in case y'all didn't know that. So it's like, stop the cap. Although he didn't give context on what or whom he was referring to. The rapper, who performs under the stage name King Combs, has been romantically linked to multiple women during his time in the spotlight. Combs dated his ex-girlfriend Bria Hicks for several years and is currently dating model Raven Tracy, who recently got Christian's name tattooed on her body. She's an idiot and she'll be getting rid of it soon when she finds out he's guilty. The claim made against Combs, allegedly, Combs, have been described as serious and thrust him into the vortex of shocking claims surrounding his father, as Diddy has been hit with several lawsuits in recent months accusing him of sexual assault, sex trafficking, drug abuse, and more. Blackburn was previously representing clients in litigation against celebrities such as T.I., as well as Nicki Minaj and Kenneth, who was also the attorney for Rodney Little Rod Jones, the producers that filed a lawsuit against Diddy earlier this year. If you want more information on it, the Jasmine brand of All Hip Hop are developing the story and have been, keeping abreast of this. Sidebar: I saw there was a recent thing about that Kenneth Petty recently just came out of his probation situation. Remember when he got put on house arrest because of that whole situation with Cardi B and Offset? Apparently he came off it, and then they showed he had to take a whole new mugshot. I was going to do that article, but I didn't get around to. I was like, I need to get this show put together and stuff. So I'll probably save that story for another time. But I was going to develop it, but I didn't really finish reading and all that other stuff. But I just want to put that out there. But yeah, so am I surprised by this, that his kids might be involved? First of all, when it comes to Diddy, this is how you know that King Combs is his son. He another one who can't close his mouth. Like, whenever you see pictures of Diddy, Diddy can never close his mouth when he take pictures. King Combs can't close his mouth when he take pictures. I still don't believe that Misa's son, Justin, is Diddy's son. Y'all need to get a DNA test on that. We already know about Quincy being Albie Shaw's son, and I do believe that Diddy may have had something to do with Albie Shaw being in that coma. And I'm glad that that story came out recently where, Albie Shaw was on stage and he's talking about he got a biopic or something or another coming out and he going to tell a story. And I believe he was going to write a tell-all book and he ended up dead. There's a conspiracy going around talking about that Heavy D was going to spill some tea when he was at Uptown Records about Diddy, and he ended up, having that situation where he died on the plane. I think he had like a blood clot or whatever the case was, back and forth flying. It was somebody, it was due to his weight. There's conspiracy theories going around that Diddy may have something to do with Heavy D's death and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I would not put it past this man that he will do anything to make sure that the tea don't come out about him. And Cassie, I believe, got the ball rolling. There was a story I saw on Fox News when I was scrolling on, I think the Jasmine brand posted it, but Fox News was talking about, they've been having eyes on Diddy long before Cassie's big story came out. I don't believe that, because first of all, anything outside of Fox News, I'm not buying. First of all, y'all don't even tell the truth when it comes to Donald Trump, so I'm not even going to believe what the shit y'all say about about Diddy. So I'm not buying it. because I know how y'all get when it comes to telling about stories regarding Black people. But in regards to this story, I'm definitely going to keep my eye on it as it develops. Do I believe that King Combs may have been a part of his father's operation? I do, because we've heard many of stories over the years. Look, I've been telling y'all that Diddy is a wannabe gangster. He wants to be Tony Montana. He wants to be Michael Corleone. He wants to be those Italian gangster. Well, Tony Montana wasn't Italian, but you know what I mean. And he was a fictional character, right? Oh wait, maybe he wasn't. I don't think he was. I have to look that up because I always wonder. I'm like, wait a minute, was Tony Montana a real life gangster? I may have to look that up. But he always wanted to be Michael Corleone and take over the bit, and pass down the business and that sort of thing. So I totally believe that he's a wannabe gangster and was teaching his sons how to continue on with the business, and probably having them bring in, doing the sex trafficking and all that other stuff. So I truly believe that may be possible. But look, make sure government, y'all got your I's crossed, and your I's dotted and your T's crossed before y'all come out with the T. Because we need that rock solid evidence. Okay, so Felix says, yeah, I saw the video with Claudia Jordan saying all that about Albie Short and Heavy D. Mm-hmm. And she said she knew him too. Okay, now speaking of sexual assaults and things of that nature, and bribes and accusations, let's talk about Ariana Grande. So, since the Quiet on Set docuseries came out, I understand the internet means well. However, I've been irritated when people go on social media and y'all start harassing every single celebrity y'all could think of that worked at Nickelodeon, that had a show at Nickelodeon, and y'all are harassing them, talking about that they're enabling the abuse that happened over there. When just because something happened to the people that spoke out, and the people who are choosing to speak out post the 4-part series, doesn't mean that everybody's experience is the same, because it's not. Everybody has an individual experience. Same thing when we talked about Melissa Joan Hart. Melissa Joan Hart was pre-Dan Schneider. So she's not going to have the same experience of what went over there. Same thing with Kenan Thompson. I had somebody in my comments talking about he don't believe Kenan Thompson when he said, well, why they didn't rope Kenan Thompson? I'm like, why would he be roped in this situation? He spoke out. He said that he believes the people that went, and his heart goes out to the people that went through stuff over there, and he believes them. That's what he said. So you go in and say, I don't believe him. I don't think you read the post. So it's whatever. Sometimes I don't pay people no mind, because I can always tell whenever I write stuff that y'all respond to the headline and then read the article. That's how I know. That's how I catch y'all out there with stuff. But anyway, so he went and he said his heart goes out and those other stuff. But people was also going on Ariana Grande, because remember, Ariana Grande, there was clips of her throughout the docuseries where they showed her doing things that people were like, why did they have her sucking on her own toes on camera and pouring water all over herself, or trying to squeeze, water out of a potato, which looked like she was giving a hand job to the damn potato, and doing all kinds of sexual suggestive stuff, which you shouldn't be having kids doing. But I feel like Dan Schneider, in his little nasty ass mind, was just thinking, oh, well, let's see how far we could push it and make it come across like, let's see how far we could push the FCC or whatever, whoever was watching at Nickelodeon, see like if we're doing things, like let's see how far we can get underage kids to do grown adult perverted shit, and it be funny. We're not gonna catch it because we young and we naive and we don't know no better. But the adults, I guess they're not necessarily watching Nickelodeon. They leaving their kids their own devices while they are doing their own thing. But now that we look back on it, it's like, yeah, that was inappropriate. You should have had kids doing that. So anyway, Ariana Grande, they was going in on her too. Talking about why she not coming out, why she not speaking out about all of this that's going on. Well, apparently there's rumors swirling that she may have taken a payout, aka hush money, to remain tight-lipped on what's going on at Nickelodeon. So according to the blast, it says, if you've seen the doc TV series on Max, you'll know the dark side of children's television was exposed as many child stars reveal that their experience was like working on popular Nickelodeon shows. Both Ariana Grande and Elizabeth Gillies have yet to speak on the release of the doc, nor have they shared their experience working with the network, which has many convinced they took hush money from Nickelodeon. Jeanette McCurdy says that, well, she claims, I should say, that Nick offered her $300K as a thank you gift with the condition that she never told publicly about her experiences on the show. She turned the money down and revealed her experiences in her memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died. Now that the public knows about McCurdy's claims, they are convinced the network also offered other stars hush money, and fingers are being pointed at stars who have yet to speak out on their experiences with Nickelodeon. Ariana Grande and Elizabeth Gillies, who both starred in Victorious, are among those stars. Didn't Ariana star in another show? I don't think she started on Victorious. But anyway, it said in a social media post of Gillies, many have flooded the comment section accusing her and Grande of taking hush money. So both of y'all took hush money, one user asked. How much money did Dan Schneider give you to keep quiet? Another wrote. Definitely sign NDAs, one user suggested. Others point out how Gillies is still following Dan Schneider on her IG, saying, why are you still following Dan Schneider? This is what one of her followers asked. Now, while many slammed the former Nickelodeon stars for remaining quiet, others stood for them, saying, all of you in this comment section are so weird, one of Gillies' followers said, adding, quit blaming victims and remember that no one owes you their trauma. This is serious stuff real people had to go through, and you're all treating it like some silly gossip you can't wait to get more of. And you want to know something? That person hit the nail directly on the head, and that's the same thing when we talked about yesterday with Matthew Underwood and that whole situation where he didn't come and speak out. Because remember, we talked about that on yesterday's show. He didn't come speak out and people were harassing him, which forced him to come forward and reveal that, yes, he didn't experience anything that happened at Nickelodeon, but he was sexually abused by his agent. And so he had to tell that story because y'all are forcing people to come out to have to speak so they can stop being harassed. And I do agree with that a lot of y'all, are y'all really here for the victims, or are y'all just here because y'all salivating at the mouth because this is some good tea for y'all to sip on? Like with me, I'm just here to report the news and give my opinion. This is not something that I'm excited to be talking about. I shouldn't be here sitting there. None of us should be here sitting, talking about sexual abuse at the hands of executives at a network. These kids should have been protected. These grown-ass people with they perverted asses should know better. But a lot of y'all out here, y'all all weird. Like, I don't get that. But in regards to the whole Ariana Grande situation, do I think she took hush money? Who knows? Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. But for me, I think that what may have transpired is that, maybe her silence is what got her mainstream pop career. That someone within Nickelodeon introduced her to Scooter Braun and the right people and all this other stuff. I mean, I don't know her history, but maybe somebody within the Nickelodeon, they ushered her into, her pop stardom by introducing her to the right people, the right producers, the right team, the right, all the people that helped her get to where she is as an artist. And so maybe now that where she is, she no longer, maybe that brought her silence, her mainstream success. Or it could be the fact that, she had some stuff that she dealt with at Nickelodeon that she's not ready to talk about. And when she and Elizabeth are ready to speak out on things that happen, they'll speak out. But like the other users said, no one owes you their trauma or access to their trauma. When people are ready to speak out, they'll be ready to speak out. But y'all need to stop going on social media harassing people for not giving you what you want. Because what is that going to do for you then? Okay, you know the tea, now what? Are you an attorney? Are you going to help them like try to get justice from Dan Schneider? Like what's the end game here? So yeah, let me know down in the comments what y'all think of this story. Okay, Felix says Ariana was on. Thank you, because I was like, she wasn't on that show. She was on Sam and Cat. Elizabeth Gillies, I don't know who that girl is. Like I told you, Sam and Cat, all them shows, that was before. That was like not before my time. It was after my time. It was like I had stopped. I was too old for Nickelodeon by then. So, I remember Clarissa Explains It All. I was, my era was all that. That was like the shows I was watching with Kenan and Kel, and well, I watched Kenan and Kel too. And oh my God, what was the show where Robert Richard was on? And it was a little black kid. So they've had a lot. They've had a lot of good shows and stuff on there. But yeah, I was not watching Sam and Cat and all them other shows. Like that was like I already aged out by that time. So. But anyway, let's move on and talk about Kroy Biermann, who was spilling tea about his wife's spending habits. Well, estranged wife, I should say. So Kroy Biermann, the estranged husband of Kim Zolciak, has submitted a spreadsheet of what he claims to be his ex's lavish spending habits over the last 7 years. Now, according to Us Weekly, on Tuesday, April 2nd, Biermann, who was 38, filed new paperwork in the divorce after suggesting that Zolciak Biermann, who's 45, was trying to keep she's 40, don't you? Was trying to keep her spending habits from going public, according to TMZ. Now, Biermann took the matter into his own hands by submitting a spreadsheet that listed the former Real Housewives of Atlanta star's alleged purchases over the last 7 years. The former NFL player claims Zolciak Biermann spent more than $600K between 2016 and 2023 at luxury stores including Neiman Marcus, Saks Fifth Avenue, Agent Provocateur, Chanel, and Versace. It's funny how you crying broke, but you got all this money to be shopping at Neiman Marcus, Saks Fifth Avenue, Agent Provocateur, Chanel, and Versace. Like, sis, where you get this money from? But she probably, because she white, get to max out all them damn credit cards without, the banks and stuff questioning it. And then she's in all this debt and ain't paying it. So it says Biermann also claimed that Zolciak Biermann dropped $161,912.87 in 2021 and $65,960. Wait, hold on. 65,966.9. Why I can't read that number? All of a sudden I'm like confused. Is that can't be 65,966 and 95 cents? And that don't make sense. Or is it 65,095 cents? I don't know. For some reason, it's like that looked like foreign math to me. I don't know why that just happened, but that literally looked like I just had a dyslexic moment. But anyway, so I think it says 65,966.95 in 2022 in Bitcoin investments and playing the lottery. Zolciak Biermann and Biermann. That sounds like a law firm. Zolciak Biermann and Biermann, who tied the knot in 2011, shared sons Kroy KJ Jr. 12 and Cash 11, and twins Kaya and Kane 9. Biermann also adopted her Kim's daughters Brielle 26 and Ariana 21 from previous relationship. Sidebar: I heard some tea that Brielle's car got repoed because she couldn't pay it. I don't know if she was able to get a new one, but yeah, I know she's engaged to a baseball player who's a minor league baseball player, which means he's not a big shot in the Major League Baseball. So I don't know. I think she aimed low in the athlete department like Kim did. Because quiet as it's kept, but ain't nobody know who Kroy was. And I don't even think he was in the major leagues as a football player when he played. But birds of a feather fly together, because it seemed like mother like daughter. And a lot of what Brielle's going through, a lot of what Kim is going through rubbed off on her daughter. I don't know what's going on with Ariana because I haven't heard from her. Now, the couple filed for divorce in May of 2023 after almost a decade, well, almost 12 years of marriage, I should say. The legal back and forth continued for 2 months after they filed paperwork to dismiss the divorce. By August 2023, Biermann filed for divorce for a second time and requested full legal and physical custody of their 4 minor children, in addition to alimony, child support, and exclusive use of their Atlanta area home. And I agree. You know what? First of all, now Kim is more or less the breadwinner than Kroy. Kroy ain't really had that much money, or when he did have a lot of money and got that severance, all the money he was getting from the NFL, she done sucked up all that money out of him because she thought she married up and clean him out. But now she's technically the breadwinner. And I've heard, T, that she is trying to get back into reality television. And rightfully so, because she need to get her money. Me personally, I can care less. I'm not watching anything Kim Zolciak because I don't particularly care for her. I think the lady is delusional. I think something wrong with her mentally. And I do think that she has a heavy addiction to wanting to live beyond her means and gambling. The gambling, the Bitcoins, all the other stuff. I believe every word. And if Kroy was able to, file receipts and bring them forth to the courts, then good on him. The problem what I have with Kroy is this is a bed you laid in and you allowed this lady to do this to you and to your whole situation and fuck up your credit for over a decade. So it's funny how now because you're pushing 40 and all your good years is behind you, now all of a sudden you feeling your oats and you want to come forward and tell me she wiped your ass out. And it's funny how they don't have money for anything else, but she got money for all this designer stuff still. So it said the consequence of losing this equity would be devastating for my family, including myself, my ex-spouse Kim, and our 4 minor children. This is what he wrote in court documents obtained by us. We would be left homeless without financial resources and unable to address the debts accumulated during our marriage. Zolciak, meanwhile, says the family will face unsurmountable financial hardships if the foreclosure proceeds, adding, "We are pleading for your support in potentially expediting the sale of the sale of the house, not sale, under the condition of a temporary order from the court to prevent foreclosure." Well, here's the thing: you sitting there begging them to not foreclose your house, but this is you brought this upon yourself. Like, y'all should know the rules by now. Like, if you're gonna get a big mansion, you have to have money coming in to be able to pay your bills, pay your taxes, pay your lease, rent, whatever. I don't know if they own the house or they just been renting it. But the bills that you have coming in for the house, you have to pay that shit off. But you out here gambling away your savings and your earnings. So I don't feel sorry for y'all. Neither one. Thoughts and prayers is all I gotta say on that. Okay, so let's move on to our next topic and talk about Euphoria star Hunter Schafer, who says in her recent GQ cover story that she has been strategic in trying to shift the public's focus away from her gender identity as a transgender woman. Because, we still waiting. Well, not I, because I've done moved on from Euphoria. Like, they still talking about they're going to make the show. They're talking about there's going to be less episodes, whatever the case is. At this point, I don't care. Like, by the time I feel like Euphoria gets made, Zendaya is going to be 45 and Jacob Elordi is going to be 65. So, I don't care. But according to reports that the Euphoria favorite does not want her identity to be the sole talking point about her, and has at times tried to avoid saying the word trans during interviews in order to ensure her career is not solely defined by her gender identity, saying it has not just happened naturally by any means. If I let it happen, it would still be giving transsexual actors before every article ever. As soon as I said it gets blast off, she added about the word trans comes up in her interviews. It took a while to learn that. It also took a while. Wait, they repeated the thing twice. It said it took a while to learn that, and it also took a while to learn that I don't want to be reduced to that, and I find it ultimately demeaning to me and what I want to do, especially after high school. I was sick of talking about it. I worked so hard to get where I am, past these really hard points in my transition, and now I just want to be a girl and finally move on. She also says that she knows it's a privilege to be able to shift focus beyond her gender identity, saying it's been very intentional. I've gotten offered tons of trans roles, and I just don't want to do it. I don't want to talk about it. I know for a fact that I'm one of the most famous trans people in media right now, and I do feel a sense of responsibility and maybe a little bit of guilt for not being more of a spokesperson. But ultimately, I really do believe that not making it the centerpiece of what I'm doing will allow me to go further, and I think getting further and doing awesome shit in the interest of the movement will be way more helpful than talking about it all the time. Well, here's the thing. I actually agree with her on this. And I think a lot of times when it comes to people who are from marginalized communities, like if you're Latino, if you're a trans person, if you're gay, if you're black, which I'm going to get into the next topic coming up about Raven-Symone saying that she's not African American, and the same thing where Idris Elba says, I don't want to be known as a black actor, and people got mad at that. To me, I feel nothing wrong with what she's saying. A lot of times when you're an actor or you're a performer, you want to be able to play the role. If I'm transgender, if I could, for example, if I decided to transition, become a woman, I don't want people to just focus on me being a trans actress. I'm an actor who happens to be trans, and if the opportunity presents itself, I want to be able to play just a regular role and it not be brought up that I'm transgender. That shouldn't be the focal point of, oh, well, okay, so she's playing a trans character, but what does that have to do with the story? How does that move the story forward? How is that let's not make that the focal point. So I get what she's saying. She's like, I just want to go in a room and be able to pick apart and it not be, oh, I'm a trans woman. And that's all y'all focus on, because it seems like what I guess she's getting at is that trans is looked at as like this trendy new thing that Hollywood is focusing on and making it like this, like it's a new fur coat that you're putting on, or the latest Versace design. And it's like, no, this is my real life. This is who I am. It's a part of me. It's not all of me. It's the same thing like with me. It's like me being gay. That's just a part of who I am. It's not all of who I am. There's so many aspects to me as a human being than who I sleep with, or who I enjoy having sexual relationships with, or relations, if you want to say that. So I don't want that to be the only focal point. I should be able to walk in a room and play a straight guy just as well as I could play a gay guy. So that should be that's what I feel like is what she's getting at. And I feel like Hollywood should open themselves up more. The minute y'all make it seem like it's not a big deal, you don't bring so much attention to it, I feel like the industry the people who are consuming the product, or whatever movie she stars in, won't look at it as sort of a big deal. Speaking of which, you know what? Since we were talking about The Matrix earlier, why don't Hunter Schafer audition for a part in that? That's like with Jamie Clayton. Jamie Clayton, I love the fact that they picked her, who's another trans woman. She's the new Pinhead, which I also heard a report that they're trying to develop a sequel. I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen that Hellraiser movie since the first time I watched it, when it came out last year. I need to revisit it. But usually what I do is like around Halloween, I do like a whole binging horror movie situation. So I would definitely I'm definitely here for this. I'm with her on this, and I see nothing wrong with what she said. So there's that. Okay, so now let's read the comments. And it says, you're not about the former gay adult star turned pastor denouncing child. Don't even get me started on that foolishness. I saw that article yesterday. That man was a whole fucking joke. And I'm sick of that shit. It's like, oh, it's sinful. It's a sinful lifestyle. What is sinful about having sex with people, especially if it's something you want to do? So you want to blame, my trauma and I was traumatized and they pulled me in when I was my most vulnerable. Nobody put a gun to your head and told you to do straight and gay porn, sir. So miss me with the bullshit. So then that's what a lot of these people do. They go on Fox News, they go on those stupid ass shows, and they promote bullshit about, I've denounced the sinful lifestyle of homosexuality. Let me sell you this book. That's like, sit and spin on both of these. That's what I gotta say. But anyway, how many topics we got left? We got 4 more topics, and we are out of here with today's show. So speaking of which, we were talking about Hunter Schafer. Let's get into Raven-Symone. So Raven-Symone is speaking out. Actress and Disney Channel star. She's finally addressing the Oprah Winfrey interview that brought her so much backlash 10 years ago, back in 2014, when she told the then host, I'm an American, I'm not an African American. So, according to reports, Raven's mother seems to think that Oprah had a hand in the Disney star being canceled years ago. The actress spoke about previously being criticized by the world for rejecting the label African American, expressing that she felt many misunderstood her perspective. Now, Raven-Symone reflected on the topic while speaking with her wife, Miranda Pierman Madej, on their podcast, Raven and Miranda. The celebrity stated that she wanted to share her refreshed thoughts about the situation, as it was recently brought up on Bill Maher's talk show. I can't stand Bill Maher because he is so radicalized right now. The TV personality was reporting on actor Idris Elba criticizing the world for being hung up on race and claiming no one referred to him as a Black actor. Here's the thing. I don't even want Bill Maher should not be speaking on anything that got to do with the Black community, especially because he eat white Black coochie every now and again. That gives him license to say the N-word. It does not, sir. Yeah, because back then, Idris Elba said that he stopped calling himself a Black actor because it put him in a box, saying our skin is no more than that. It's just skin. And people got mad at him over that. And then it says, Maher compared Elba's remarks to similar comments Raven made during a 2014 interview with Oprah Winfrey. If you recall, the TV movie star vehemently told Oprah that she doesn't want to be referred to as a lesbian or an African American, but just as an American. The media mogul surmised that Raven's comments would set Twitter on fire, which turned out to be true. Well, of course, because when the minute Saint Oprah goes and says, well, you're going to get Twitter up in an uproar. You're going to get people mad if you say that. Now, when you put that out there, what do you think is going to come with it? Especially since whatever Oprah said, it was like she was the oracle. Like, y'all ate everything that woman, you ate the doo-doo out her butt whenever, Oprah said. Now it seemed like people have woken up and kind of be giving Oprah the side eye. But back in the day, Oprah could do no wrong. Now, thinking back on the outpour criticism she faced at the time, which ultimately prompted her to issue an apology in a subsequent interview, this is what Raven had to say. She said, when that aired, I felt like the entire internet exploded and threw my name in the garbage. There was so much backlash from my community and others that misunderstood, didn't hear the exact words that I said. And the exact words that I said was, I'm an American, not an African American. And no shade, but she's right, because I feel the same way. Do not call me African American, because I feel like African American is a politically correct term for black. Y'all don't want to say black. Don't say Negro, because Negro is old school. That's like my parents' time. But I mean, I have many mixes going through this body, but some people prefer black. And I say I'm a black man, even though, I'm mixed with a whole bunch of other things, Spaniard, Filipino, American Indian. Like, I got a bunch of things flown up in this situation. But for the most part, I get it. She's like, I'm an American. I was born in America. And a lot of people who are like, okay, so when I look at African American, I look at people who are born in Africa and came to America with a visa or whatever. So Charlize Theron is African American because she was born in South Africa. Elon Musk is African American because he was born in, even though I can't stand that mother flower, he's born in, raised in South Africa during the apartheid era, and he's in America. So that makes him African American. Anybody who was born, Simon Gabadia, even though he ain't got a damn visa, he's been here, this country illegally, he would be considered African American, I guess, if he got a visa, if he actually became a citizen. So anybody who is born and raised in Africa that comes to America for a better way of life, whatever reason you come here for, that is who I consider African American. African American, I feel like, was just a term because I didn't want to say Afro American anymore. And people didn't want to say black. So now everybody want to be politically correct because I don't want to ruffle no feathers and all this other stuff. And if she feels like at the end of the day, I'm an American because this is where I was born and raised, and there's so much more to me than just being black, then kudos to her. And I don't feel like that's what she said was a bad thing. Same thing with Idris Elba, where he's like, you know what? Y'all putting this label on me like black is my skin, but I don't want to just be, I don't want to just have y'all put black roles on me, that I could play other things. It's the same thing like when people had an issue with like, oh, well, he should play James Bond. And then people say, oh, he's too old to play James Bond, which quite as he kind of is because he's in his 50s. But if they want to develop a secret agent type of role for him where he's playing a spy who happens to be black and is not tied to James Bond, but it's just his own individual IP, I'm definitely here for that with Idris Elba. If they want to address the things of what it's like to be a black secret agent in that world, then that would be like, that'd be cool. And that's kind of like what I wanted them to do with the the James Bond series, if that's the direction where they wanted to go. But I think they want to go younger because they want to be able to have this person play James Bond for a long period of time. So that's why I'm rooting for Aaron Taylor Johnson to get it, which is the rumor. But I see nothing wrong with what Raven-Symone said, and I think people just need to get off her cootie cat with that. So anyway, Felix says, "Did you see what I said about Phase on Love Set?" Yeah, I saw that, and I posted it on my social media, and I know like people were reading him, and that's why I called him. I said he looked like an oversized Eminem. So he gave Sage Steele a podcast deal for 25 years, plus Fred Durst and Billy Corgan also. What the hell is Fred Durst and Billy Corgan going to talk about in regards of a podcast? You talking about on Elon Musk gave them a podcast? I'm trying to remember who the fuck Sage Steele is, but Fred Durst and Billy Corgan, as much as I like, okay, here's the thing. I love the Smashing Pumpkins music more than Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit I did grow up with. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking when I was listening to their music, but you listen back on Limp Bizkit's music, their music was not that good. Especially the Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water. First of all, that was the worst album title in the history of album titles. And then I did it all for the nookie so you could stick it up in your yeah. Fred Durst was not that dude back in the day. I rather Korn. Like, I was a Korn fan more than I was a damn Limp Bizkit fan. Limp Bizkit was giving me like y'all were trying to do the rap metal thing, but you were trying to look like y'all were black, but it wasn't working. It was like suburban white boy trying to do hip hop. Throwing a little rock up in there. But anyway, I remember when he was started spilling that tea that he had hunched Christina Aguilera, but at that time, who didn't? Oh, ill. First of all, I heard sidebar. You talking about Bill Maher's podcast? Steve O recently just came out and spoke about Bill Maher and the fact that he's been sober for 15 years. And he has people that come on and do his podcast or whatever the case is. And I remember Steve O was telling the story of like how he wanted to come on his show, but he said the only thing I ask you to do is not smoke weed while you're doing your show. Because apparently what Bill Maher does on his podcast, he's sitting there smoking weed all day. Because I guess what he's trying to do is rip off Drink Champs with my Virgo brother Noriega, who has a show where they basically just sit up in there for like 3 or 4 hours and he bring on celebrities and they just be up in there drinking and smoking weed all damn day. So now Bill Maher wants to do the same thing with his podcast. Anyway, so Steve-O was like, can you not smoke weed or whatever? And he said, well, that's my brand. That's what I have to do or whatever. But then I heard that there was another celebrity that came on the show that asked him the same thing, and he did it. He followed their wishes. I forget who it was, but I think it was a girl, a female, whatever, that came on there. But I was like, he's a dick. Like, to me, it just feels like Bill Maher has tried to be the more, forward-thinking type of guy, but now he's become like this crazy, weird dickweed that just wants to say controversial shit to keep the ratings going over on real time, because I don't know anybody who watch that shit no more. I started watching Bill Maher eons ago. I used to like his show, but then he started saying all this weird cuckoo crazy shit, and I was like, I can't be bothered with him no more. Like, he is just too far gone down the rabbit hole in the Matrix. Said Sage Steele was fired by Disney refusing to get the vaccination because her political identity is conservative. And here's the funny thing is that I remember at one point when they were forcing people to get the vaccine, and a lot of people I remember were getting fired because of it. But now it's like not even now this year I've heard it's not a like it's a lot of jobs. They've foregone the whole you need a vaccine in order to be able to work. So they got rid of it because I guess now it's manageable to live with COVID. Like, it's not going nowhere. Snoop Dogg has a podcast. Chill. Why does Snoop Dogg have a podcast? Well, I should be surprised Snoop has a podcast because Snoop, will show up in an envelope opener. Snoop is everywhere. And that's why I had to laugh, because Snoop Dogg turned down Jennifer Lopez appearing on her This Is Me Now. I'm like, damn, you couldn't get Snoop Dogg of all people. You couldn't get Snoop Dogg, sis. Like, damn, your script must have been that bad. Well, it was, because we saw it. That you couldn't even get Snoop Dogg. And Snoop Dogg would show up to an envelope. Snoop Dogg is everywhere. So I don't know how you couldn't get him to show up. But anyway, so let's get in this story about Kanye. So, child, this mess, I don't know how anybody can go and be a part of Donda Academy. Like, sometimes I'm looking at you parents who allow your kids to go to this school, and I feel like that ACS need to be called and for potential child abuse. Because I don't understand how y'all allowed y'all children to go to this damn school with this madman. And the school ain't even accredited. But anyway, says a former employee of Kanye West sued the megastar, his Yeezy apparel brand, and his LA area school, claiming discrimination, a hostile work environment, whistleblower retaliation, and unsafe working conditions, among other allegations. Now, according to Rolling Stone, the employee claims that Kanye West wanted to install a jail at his school to cage students. What do you think this is, the border? Threatened to punch him during a temper tantrum, and gave preferential treatment to white employees, according to a new lawsuit obtained by Rolling Stone. Trevor Phillips filed suit against the rapper, who now goes by, let's call him Kanye, because that's what he is, on Tuesday in LA, joining a number of former employees who are also suing the 46-year-old. The 42-page complaint gives a behind-the-scenes look at what Phillips says it's like to work for the eccentric artist, including spontaneous firings, a late-night summons to Nobu, watching the Batman on mute. And I love that movie. What the hell you need to go to Batman for? That's the Robert Pattinson one. And awkwardly navigating Kanye pretending to pleasure himself. I wasn't going to say the other word. It says a rep for West did not immediately reply for a request for comment. From the start of his 9-month employment in November of 2022, Phillips, who is black, says it was immediately apparent that Kanye treated the black staff considerably worse than white employees and would scream and berate black employees while never even as much raising his tone at the white staff. Coming on board weeks after Ye's fallout with Adidas and Gap over his anti-Semitic remarks, Phillips claims that Kanye continued to double down and make similar statements throughout the employment. Kanye also threatened to go after the LGBTQ community next, according to the suit, because gay people are controlled by Bill Gates so that they don't have children for population control. What? You do know that a lot of gays are having children via surrogate, but okay, Kanye, go off. They also said that when Phillips tried to push back against Kanye's bigotry, the artist responded mercilessly with incest and harassment, humiliation, and attempts to both mentally control and destroy Phillips. The lawsuit filed by Shagarian and Associates claims Kanye's ill will towards the plaintiff ultimately culminated in vulgar lashing in front of school children and their parents. Kanye even threatened Phillips with physical violence. Was that thunder? Jesus, that was loud. Child, I'm telling you, the weather in New York is a mess right now. So it says, let me continue. I'm like, damn, what was that? The thunder is loud out here in these streets. But anyway, Phillips said that he was hired in November 2022 to work for the fashion line Yeezy around a month after the rapper paraded a White Lives Matter shirt down the runway at his brand's Paris Fashion Week show. The widespread criticism from the spectacle led to Kanye unleashing a stream of anti-Semitic rhetoric, which prompted Adidas and Gap to sever their business relationships with Yeezy. Phillips's role on what Ye dubbed a vertically integrated crew was to now oversee projects related to growing cotton and other plants to use as material. Do not tell me he was going to have them picking cotton at their school. But anyway, so it said, but because of the continued fallout, Phillips's job quickly blended into work in the rapper's private Christian school, Donda Academy, and a future self-sustainable community project. Phillips was expected to be on call 24/7 for all-encompassing role, according to the suit, and although he was promised pay up to $100 per hour, Phillips allegedly made far less than that, and some payments were delayed after the Yeezy bank accounts were frozen. So it's a lot. Like it goes on and on and on and on and on. It also says, because I'm gonna scroll down to the bottom. It says Phillips was tasked with checking out a farm property that Kanye wanted to buy, but the next day he was fired again because he was not on the level. First of all, is he your assistant or is he one of the teachers that works at your job? Like, I don't know what the hell's going on with this man. This man is way out there where the buses don't run, and he need to take his damn meds. Do I believe all this mess is going on in here? I sure do, because Kanye been saying all kinds of crazy shit over the years. So anything that they come out of the far ether with accusations, I would not put it past this man, this madman, on the things that he has his employees and stuff doing. And it's like, I don't understand, you parents, why would y'all allow your children to go to a school that A, is not accredited, and B, is not accredited? I was like, what else is there? It needs to be an accredited school. There needs to be some real education going on. And it makes sense to me as like why the educational system is down in the toilet. You got that asshole out in Florida just trying to remove all things educational that kids can learn about Black history, queer history, any kind of history. Because he's thinking that if by race and history, nobody gonna know about it, and you can continue your wannabe fascism out in Florida and other states that they got that going on in America. And then you got celebrities that think that just because they're a celebrity, that they could just open a school and that kids are gonna learn some shit. Kids really need to be educated out in these streets, and he out here playing because he want to have it because his ego is having this whole situation. And it's like, what is wrong with you? So I'm definitely going to keep you guys abreast of the story as it develops because, child, this is a mess. And Kanye's a mess. And I hope these people take his ass for every damn cent. Now, speaking of court cases, let's get into this, and I'll get to the comments and stuff after. Speaking of court cases, let's get into this Jonathan Majors story. So we have an update on what's going on because I believe that this is the time when, we're going to find out the fate of Jonathan Majors. Is he going to jail or is he going to get, probation or whatever, or community service, whatever you want to call it. So a judge has denied the actor's request to set aside the guilty verdict in his domestic violence case. The actor was previously convicted of third-degree assault and harassment on December 2023 after he was arrested in March of the same year. Police responded to a call to his home where they found his ex-girlfriend Grace Jabari slumped in a closet. During the hearing, he faced 4 charges, not at all of which he was found guilty of. As TMZ reports, Major's legal team filed to have the charges tossed, making a few different arguments on the basis in their position. Namely, they felt that the charges he was ultimately convicted of were unfairly assigned at the end of the trial. Now, According to reports, that Major's lawyers believe that the prosecution had been trying to convince the jury of an alleged assault Grace Jabari claimed happened inside of their vehicle that night, but when push came to shove, Jonathan was ultimately convicted on what had happened outside the car, specifically him putting her back inside the SUV. Our sources are revealing that his team feels when prosecutors realized they weren't able to convince the jury that what allegedly happened in the car, then they pivoted and instructed the jury to focus on the reckless assault they claim happened outside of it. But here's the thing: if that whatever happened outside of it, it looked like that they were probably having a little tussle or argument, whatever the case is. And yeah, because remember what they said when it happened inside the car, that he was on his phone. Allegedly, there was another woman he had received a text from, probably Megan Good, and Grace got wind of it because she was being nosy and looking at his damn phone. That's why y'all got to get them filters over your phone where people can't look over your damn shoulder. He should have had that. And then she looked, grabbed the phone. He's like, "No, why you grabbing my shit?" Was wrestling it back, bent her hand back on her finger, whatever the case was. So it was a little assault situation there because it's like, yeah, y'all both under the influence of alcohol. She's in her jealous bag. He's in his cheating bag. And he didn't like that she was being nosy and got caught. And he was trying to get the thing over. But of course, it's yet again a thing of a black man assaulting a poor white girl. But this is what happens when y'all run up in them spaces. But then again, some people can say, well, if he did it to a black woman, then what? The black girl probably would have kept silent and wouldn't have gotten him because, there's that whole thing about why y'all trying to lock a black man up? And then, y'all want to look down on black women when they do certain things. So I get it. It isn't fair the way that, the scales tip. But anyway, so then he's getting out the car, and then they're kind of going at it. He's trying to get her back in the car. And so they want to focus on that. So at the end of the day, do I think that Jonathan Majors is an arrogant prick that has like a history of temper tantrums and attitudes, whatever the case was? Could be. But in this case, do I think he need to go to jail? No. Look, y'all need to fill prisons up with far worse people. If y'all out here sexually abusing children, if y'all out here raping women, if y'all out here murdering people, that's what the prisons need to be for. Not for a little dispute that you had with your little girlfriend that got caught on camera out in the street. So we'll see. When is it? Next week, the 8th of April is when we find out, if he'll face up to 1 year behind bars or probation. I honestly hope that he gets probation. I feel like well, look, fingers crossed he learned his lesson. I hope he learned his lesson. I hope he's able to find a way to rebrand himself, get his career back on track, and that, he could do whatever he needs to do. But Jonathan, I just hope that this is a lesson learned that, what, when it comes to women and their whole shit and they want to go off or whatever the case is, leave them alone, walk away. And lead them broads, to their own device. If she want to sit and run off and do whatever, because remember, we saw the video of her running after him. So why is it that he's trying to get away from her at one point? He put her in the car, and then he running, and then she goes running after him. What about that? So I don't think she's as innocent in this shit either. I think they both to blame. I think it was they both were under the influence of alcohol, and when people drink, you're not rational. And I believe that there was some poking the bear moments with her. He don't know how to walk away from situations. He tried to walk away, and she's like, how some women do nag, and it's like, bitch, get away from me. We had those moments where it's like, can you leave me alone? Go over there, do whatever, and then you want to follow. And then when I push you away, then it's, oh, you hit me. No, you keep bothering me. You keep following me. So it's probably a whole bunch of things. I don't think she's all that innocent in this, but sir, you can't be putting your hands on women either. So there's that. Okay, so it says Snoop is he is universally liked, and that's why Snoop is everywhere. Jails are overcrowded with people who shouldn't be there. Yeah, and it's like a lot of people with minor crimes, so we need to move on from that. And I feel like Jonathan Majors, I feel like he's learned his lesson, and we need to move on from that. All right, so let's get into our final topic and talk about Queer Eye. So there's been a lot of drama going on with Queer Eye and all this other stuff. Bobby Burt was recently replaced by Jeremiah Brent, is the husband of Nate Berkus. And I actually like Jeremiah Brent. I like a lot of his home decor shows. Like, I've been following him since, he took over the spot that Brad Goreski had over on Rachel's Show project. Because remember, at one point, Jeremiah was the replacement after Brad got fired, whatever the case was. So I'm taking it way back. And then I followed Jeremiah over the years with him and Nate Berkenstein in Love. And then they did stuff with Oprah. And then they started doing things with HDTV and all that stuff. I told you, home decor shows, that's like my favorite. I love HDTV. So now, he's speaking out about what's going on with Queer Eye, because there's been a lot of controversy going on. It was the whole thing about Tan and Bobby Burke, and people saying that Tan had Bobby Burke fired or whatever the case was because Bobby didn't want to come back and do the show. Like there was a whole situation with the writer's strike, and he was like, "Okay, after this season, we done, right? So I'm not coming back." And then when the writer's strike happened, and now the reality shows, that's where they step in because scripted people, they don't have the people to come in to write things, so now they need content. So now we're gonna usher in a lot of this unscripted content. So we're gonna give Queer Eye another damn season. We're not going to get rid of it. We're going to keep it coming. I don't know one person that watches that show, Quiet as It's Kept. I don't watch it. I used to watch. I watched a couple episodes and I'm like, it's not my judge. But I do like Bobby Burke. He's the only one I can tolerate from that damn show. But anyway, so Jeremiah Brent is speaking out, and he's on the cover of House Beautiful. And because I was going to say, where is it? Because I wanted to bring up the picture for y'all. Because I do have that. I was like, let me open this thing and see what had happened. Okay, so I got it. So yeah, so here's his quote and what he said with that. He said, "I've got to tell you, there's no drama with any of us. We're all in a group chat. We're having the time of our lives. Everybody's heads and hearts are in the right spot. It's really healthy right now, and I think we're all really excited about this season." So yeah, that's what he said. Okay, girl. Well, I mean, what else are you gonna say? Right? I mean, quiet as it's kept. What exactly is it that you're gonna say in regards to, the whole quote and situation? So with all the drama and everything that's going on, and they'd be winning their Emmys and all this other stuff, and but we've heard the story that Tan France was campaigning to get Brent on his show, and that was his friend. The same conversation that we had, correct, when I talked about that clip of Chef Stu walking around, the Irish chef, who was initially cast on the show, but then all of a sudden, before the show started filming, he was replaced by Anthony Porowski. And then the video that I showed y'all, Chef Stu said that Anthony Porowski didn't know anything about it, and they met out in public one time, and they were at a restaurant or something or another, and he went over, gave him a hug, and they chatted. It was no hard feelings because that had nothing to do with Anthony. That had to do with Tan being shady, which is what I believe about this situation. So I do think that Tan is doing some shit behind the scene. He a shady little queen, which is probably why that Next in Fashion show ain't really go nowhere because he was on it. And then Gigi Hadid was on there too. Sidebar, I had no idea that Gigi Hadid was dating Bradley Cooper. I had no idea they was in a long-standing relationship. And also, I forgot to mention when I was talking about Hunter Schafer. Hunter Schafer dated Rosalia once upon a time. I was like, I had no idea. She mentioned that in the interview that they did, the article that we did, but when she was talking about not wanting to be just a trans actress, she does mention that in there. They dated for 5 months back in 2019. I was like, girl, I did not know that Rosalia was fluid. You out here dating men. Raul Alejandro, who I think got a little sugar in his tank. I mean, not that I'm complaining because he is cute. And you dating trans girls. Okay, sis, I see you. Go ahead, Rosalia. But anyway, so yeah, so I truly believe like when Chef Stu went and brought that up on David Yontar's podcast Behind the Velvet Rope, and he said that there was some situation going on where he had heard that Tan had a hand in getting him replaced by Anthony Porowski. I believe this as well, that Tan is going around just recommending bitches to be a part of the show. Like I said, I'm a fan of the old Queer Eye, the one with Carson Kressley and Kyan Douglas and Jay Rodriguez. Like that was my judge back in the day. And then I had the little house music opening number. That was my show. This version of Queer Eye, I was like, okay, if y'all like it, I love it. I just couldn't get into it. I just found that the rest of the cast was just annoying to me. And I will be following Bobby Burke wherever he goes. And while I'm happy that Jeremiah Brent got a new job and he's going to be incorporated into the new Queer Eye, me personally, I don't care about the show as a whole. So good luck to y'all. And okay, Jeremiah, what else is he gonna say? He's a new person on the cast, so of course he's gonna try to come out and say stuff. But it's funny how Jonathan Van Ness, when all the accusations came out about him, that big story that Rolling Stone did, and he vanished from social media for a while. Then all of a sudden, it wasn't that long ago, I think it was last week, he came back on social media and was like, surprise, I'm here, but didn't even mention the accusations. Gay Jesus out here being a nuisance. But anyway, what y'all think about the story? Let me know down in the comments below. Okay, so let me read these comments. I secretly think Bobby Burt was secretly hated. Yeah, it could have been, because first of all, he was, in my opinion, the cutest one on the show. And to me, I liked a lot of like his personality and what he brought. So that's why I like Bobby Burt. The rest of them, I always felt like they didn't know what the hell he was doing on that damn show. Y'all just, and something tells me Chan wants his best GR. His good Judy up in there. It's like the new season of We Here has Latrice Royale and Jada as well. Yeah, but I'm actually not mad at that. I actually am looking forward to seeing the show. Remember, we talked about it on the show where um King Tyra, aka the artist formerly known as Tyra Sanchez, brought up, okay, so what's going on with We're Here? Like y'all lost your job because Shannon was out here being a pervert. So y'all need to come out and speak out and let us know the tea and what's going on. And I know because, well, Michael, what's his name? I think it's Mike Cullen or something or another. He does like a show on YouTube, which is actually pretty good. He interviews a lot of LGBTQ people. He just recently did an interview with this um gangster, like this gangster son who is gay. And it was somehow like what is like growing up gay in the mob and that sort of thing. And he owns a couple of stores in Beverly Hills, I believe. And so I was talking about his life, but he talked a lot of stuff. The previous episode he did was with Latrice Royale, and Latrice kind of talked a little bit about We Here, but didn't really address what was going on with We're Here and how they got the job and all that other stuff in regards of like all the controversy that was surrounding We're Here. So I'm actually looking forward to the fact of them doing of We're Here and the 4 queens they have on there. 3 of them which are of color, which I love because you got Priyanka, Jada Essence Hall, and Latrice Royale. So I love the fact that they have 3 queens of color on that show. And they should have brought that up a little bit. I know, like, look, Bob is busy doing her thing. Chandler's what did Jada say on Pit Stop? Oh, she talked about it? I may have to watch that episode because I haven't watched Pit Stop in a while. But um, I know Jada was talking about. She must have officially started talking about being a part of We're Here. But we've known. Well, you know, I've known about that for a while. But I'm just wondering when it's coming. I think it's coming soon. It might be coming this month or next month. I'm not sure. I have to look it up. But I know like we're definitely getting. Oh, that's how you found out. Yeah, she's gonna be on there. And like I said, it's who was the 4th one? I forgot. Um, hold on a second. We're Here 2024. That's a good thing we could do. Um, we could see who's on it. Okay, so it's I can't figure out who is that? I'm having a moment. I'm like, who are these queens? Oh, it's Sasha Velour. Why can I not think of Sasha damn Velour's name? So it's Sasha Velour, Priyanka, Jada Essence Hall, and Latrice Royale. They're gonna be on season 4. But I don't know when the seasons come. Oh, February 9th, 2024 is when they said that they did this full article. And April 26th is when it comes on HBO. So now y'all know. I'll definitely be looking. I told it was going either coming on this month or next month. So yeah, I'll definitely be looking forward to you know, the show and what they plan on bringing to it. Because I definitely love Sasha Velour. I definitely want to go and check out her Nightgowns show this year. There's a lot of shows I want to catch up, and since I ran into Lady Bunny the other day, I definitely want to check out her upcoming shows as well. I think it's at the Greenhouse or something or another. But yeah, so excuse me, that's what I'm looking forward to. All right, so let me take that out. And now we are. Any questions, comments, or concerns before I log off? Because we are at the end of the show. Um, Yeah, I don't have anything more to get. And look, at least this episode is a lot shorter. It's 2 hours instead of 3. Yesterday was 3 hours because it was a minute since I was on, and I had a lot of topics that I needed to get to. So anyway, so once again, thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Tune in next time whenever I go live. I don't know when. I'm gonna probably give you all a show. It'll probably be this weekend because I'm gonna be busy tomorrow. And what's tomorrow? Thursday, Friday too, and Saturday. So the next 3 days I'm gonna be pretty much running around like a chicken with his head cut off, working and doing stuff. So I'll hit you guys up this weekend with probably another show. But yeah, before you guys leave, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Thank you for all that have been in the comments, tuning in and commenting throughout the show today. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Pretty much done. Until next time. Love you all. Ciao, darlings.